Hey, everybody. Welcome to your MLS deal getting training. Thank you for being here. I know how busy everybody is, so I truly appreciate you taking the time to spend with me. I will not let you down. My name is Jim Hunsaker. I'm the founder of the Real Estate Investor Academy and creator of MLS Domination. This is so awesome. We have so many people registered for this webinar. I'm really glad you made it on this one. I'm honored you decided to take the time to spend it with me. I promise I will make it worth your while. All right, so this webinar is loaded with golden nuggets, like true actionable items. So make sure you turn off all your distractions, and you're going to want to take some really good notes during this. In fact, I just paid a wholesaler $4,000 on an MLS deal that he brought to me after going through the very same training you're about to go through right now. So it was my first student that I've bought a deal off of. And now I buy wholesale deals all the time, but not from one of my students, certainly not one who's only gone through the free training portion of what I do. So make sure you take some really good notes because that just happened. And I'll show you that case study in a minute. And, we got people on here from all over the country. There's some from Canada. There's even somebody logged on from Ireland, which is awesome. I love it. And I'm mostly Irish, so I truly love that. But I want to thank you all for being here. I appreciate your time. Speaking of time, I'm going to go quickly. And if you've ever heard me teach before, you understand that I do talk kind of fast, but I want to get in as much content as possible. I try to strip this presentation down to make it quicker, but I wasn't, you took the time to be here. I wanted to give you as much information as I could. So I'm just going to go quickly through it, but I will stick around at the end for all the questions you have, as many questions as you have. Now, make sure you stick around to the end for the free bonuses I promised you just for attending. So I'll tell you about more about those in 1 minute. But this is a free webinar on how to use the MLS, which of course stands for Motivated List of Sellers. Well, to us real estate investors it does, but you might also know it as the multiple listing service to get a predictable stream of profitable deals for your real estate investing business. When people hear that I've used the MLS for the last 8 years to get 75% of my deals, I always hear two things from them. There's either no good deals in the MLS or the MLS is too competitive. And I would say, well, is it too competitive for all the non-deals? I mean, of course there is good deals in the MLS. That's why it is so competitive. But most people just lack the knowledge, education, experience that it takes to get the best deal. So I'll show you in this quick presentation as much as I can about what I do to use the MLS to get most of my deals. So do yourself a favor, take some good notes. You don't want to wake up tomorrow and forget that fantastic idea I shared with you, because I'm going to share some really, really good actual nuggets, like stuff you can really use in your business tomorrow, today, whatever. So take some good notes, turn off your distractions, put your phone down, put it on airplane mode, shut down your email or apps like, Facebook, Skype, or Tinder, whatever you do with your time. I will show you the stuff in this exact presentation that financially changed my life forever. So again, I'm going to make this worth your while. Do yourself a favor. You took the time to be here. Turn off your distractions. I don't want you to miss anything. So if you're hearing my voice now, I truly honor you for focusing on your continuing education, focusing on a better, smarter, and even more importantly, a more inexpensive way to get deals for your real estate investing business, because you will not find a less expensive deal source than the MLS. And I'll show you all about that here in a few minutes. And because we're also here to focus on making money, right? That's why we're all here. So this webinar is called MLS Deal Getting 101, and we are hitting our limit for this webinar, so I am glad you made it on. I do have a series of these going on right now because there was so much interest in it, so thank you. In this webinar, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks that top real estate investors in the country are using to get all the best deals out of the MLS. I'll show you exactly what you need to do to beat out the competition to get your offer accepted over others. I'll show you how I get my offers accepted on regular sales and estate sales, which are my favorite deals in the MLS, when I am not the highest cash offer. I'll show you what I do for that. Again, they have other cash offers that they often will show me, but they take my offer over theirs. And I'll tell you in a minute how I do that. And again, there's a few bonuses I'm going to give you just for attending the webinar. The first one is I'm going to give you the keyword search list that I use personally to scrape all the best deals out of the MLS. So the only way I search the MLS is two ways. I use the keywords that I'm going to give you later in this training. And geographic, meaning like the areas that I want to do, either the town, the county, the neighborhood, whatever. That's it. Those are the only two criteria I use when I'm searching. So I will give you that exact keyword search list for foreclosures, short sales, regular sales, estate sales, all that stuff. I will give you at the end of this training. So let me just thank you again for being here. Thank you for your time. I'm told over and over again that the passion really comes through when I'm teaching. I love to teach. It's something that's why I created the program. And so you be the judge of that. And But that's just what I'm here to do, is teach. So let's wait. I see everybody. We're still getting people coming on. We're filling up here. All right, here's the agenda, right? Here's what we're going to go over in this training. I'm going to show you the 6 big ideas to get a predictable stream of profitable deals. If you want, 5 deals a month, you want 5 deals a year. That's what predictable is. Whatever you want, however much you want. There's guys that I know that use this to get 10, 11 deals a month out of their MLS, and some guys that just want to do 10, 11 deals a year. So whatever's good for you. I'll break down how to easily make 150 grand a year using just the MLS as a deal source. How to get MLS access if you don't have it. How to meet and approach the smaller REO agents, which is a gold mine. 3 ways we make cash offers in the MLS using other people's money, OPM. I'll show you a couple student case studies, one where he made a 31% return on a deal that I helped him get. I will show you about that in a few minutes too. And then I got some great gifts for you just for sticking with me. I'll tell you all about that at the end. So here's who I am. What's my story? I was a real estate agent first, so I thought I could easily become a real estate investor, but boy, was I wrong. My first deal I got into, I will tell you about later, but it was not going well. I did everything wrong. But throughout my own struggles, I was about to lose money. I figured out some strategies that worked really, really well to get deals. So I'm the founder of the Real Estate Investor Academy. I'm creator of MLS Domination. I'm an Illinois licensed realtor, and I've been in the top 1% of realtors since 2008 nationally. And I've used the MLS as my primary deal source for the last 8 years. About 75% of my deals come from there. The rest of them come from wholesalers. I started my rehab business from scratch 8 years ago. I've been involved in about 450 transactions in my life as a real estate investor and an agent. Throughout my own desperation, I stumbled on these strategies that I'm going to share with you right now. And I've made life-changing money through one of the worst declining economies. This is when I built my business. I started in 08. So think about what happened 08, 9, 10. But I liked it because people always ask me, well, what if the market crashes? I say, who cares? Every year in real estate that I've been in, it didn't matter if the market was going down or up. There was always changes that I had to adapt to every single year. So no matter if the market goes down, you just got to change your strategies on how you're buying them and how you're evaluating them. No big deal. I actually would prefer, as a homeowner, I don't want the market to crash again. Obviously, it's not good for the economy. It's not good for jobs. But as an investor, the way I make a living, I'd be fine with it. That's when I learned the business. That's what I know the best. Now, when it goes up, there's more competition, but it's easier. The deals are harder to get, but it's easier to sell them because the market's busy. So anyway, the market goes down, doesn't matter. Market goes up, doesn't matter. This stuff works in any kind of market, right? So, and I teach students in groups how to take the real estate investing business to the next level. You may have heard about the course that I have coming out, the new version of MLS Domination. So I'll tell you more about that later too. Though this is pretty cool here. So I was just recently featured on the cover of Top Agent magazine. So I thought that was pretty cool, especially for someone who considers himself a real estate investor. So anyway, all right, moving on quickly, get through this stuff here. So what's your why, right? Like, why are you here today? You're here to make more money or to learn how to get deals to make money. Well, it's always important to have a why in mind, right? And so this is my why. This is my wife and kids. But the reason I even show them is truly without MLS Domination, then I was just getting deals out of the MLS. I don't know if these kids would be around right now because we had, my wife and I were struggling to have kids for a couple of years. It took us about 2.5 years till we went for the IVF. We both got tested. Nothing's wrong with us. So the insurance wouldn't pay for it, even though 2.5 years we're not having kids. And long story short, $42,000 later, we have a set of twins, Liam and Claire. And so I was able to write the checks for that, to make that IVF stuff happen. And I'm not bragging to you about it. It's the truth. And if it wasn't for real estate investing, I wouldn't have had that money in the bank and I wouldn't have been able to just write those checks for that stuff. So I don't know if they would be here or not, but they're here and it's because of the stuff I'm about to share with you. So, there. Oh yeah, look. Let's see on the. There we are at Wrigley Field, and look, hey, Real Estate Investor Academy. No, I'm just kidding. I put that on the sign, but that was my kid's first Cub game. All right, so who is this training for? Let's go this. Action takers, right? People who are ready to implement. Just like the case study I'm going to go over directly after this, the wholesaling case study. Now, this is for anyone who wants to build a long-term lasting business through any kind of economy, because the MLS is the largest list of motivated sellers you will ever find, ever, period. Investors who need deals now are on demand forever, month after month. Just as the MLS is always getting new deals. They just get emailed to you every single day. New listings, new listings, new listings. Brand new investors looking for inexpensive and reliable deal source, and experienced investors looking for an additional inexpensive and reliable deal source. Because who doesn't need another inexpensive and reliable deal source if you're a real estate investor, right? So, all right, so here is that case study that for one of my students just brought me. I just closed on it like about a month ago. We're working on the property right this minute. So anyway, here is Cypress Lane in Illinois. This is, so it was originally listed for $229. Now, I wasn't involved in any of this. It dropped to $219, about 40 days in the market, and he had offered $180. And so the agent, he did a lot of stuff wrong, which is why he was stuck. Like a lot of wholesalers bring me deals that are MLS deals. They don't know, they put them under contract the wrong way. Well, this one was all messed up. He put $10,000 earnest money. Well, the agent did, but he didn't ask him. What he did is he pre-signed the contract at the house blank. And the agent said, oh, we'll talk about all the details. Well, when he called them to talk about the details, they only talked about the offer amount and the closing date. She said, since it was a cash offer, what 10 grand? What's the difference, right? So he just didn't ask him. Well, his plan was to put down $1,000, wholesale to somebody, get $5,000 right now. Get $4,000 or $5,000 now, and that would cover his $1,000 that he just put down. Plus, he'd make the money later. Anyway, it was a mess. I had to untangle it for him. But the point of the story is, I was able to buy it for $184, so I paid him his $4,000. I bought it for $180 myself, and so the rehab cost here be about $56,000 roughly. Holding and selling cost $23. It's not a very big house, as you could tell. Sales price will be $310. 300 to 310. So I figured 310. It's about $41,000. I mean, this is not a home run, but it is. I will do deals like this. This isn't an area that will sell in 2 seconds. It's a deal all day long that I would jump on because this will be so easy to sell. So anyway, this is just, I wanted to show you a deal that, one of my students, somebody that watched this very training, literally this training, that he went out, put a deal under contract. Now, it was wrong because he didn't have enough experience yet, but he still went out and did it. That's the point. He took action. He went and did it. Now, he would have had to back out of that deal if he didn't have it wasn't that I'm, Jim Hunsker, the guy that teaches MLS Domination. All I am is a cash buyer in his market. That's it. All you need is a cash buyer. Go start getting, get properties under contract and bring it to him. So, because obviously, this deal I put under contract myself. I didn't use his contract because I couldn't. So I didn't have to pay him the $4,000, but why wouldn't I? I want him to bring me more deals. So, you got to find guys in your market and have a mindset of, hey, this guy wants you to bring him more deals. So just find a good cash buyer in your market. And, even if you don't have an assignment agreement, you should be able to work something out. So, all right, who's this not for? I'll go through this really quick. But anybody who makes excuses, people who are afraid to succeed, it exists, believe me. People who do not want to implement what they learn, tire kickers, people who want to get rich quick program. This is far from that. If you want to get rich quick, this is not it. This is something that you could build a long-term lasting business through any kind of economy. This is not get a quick check tomorrow. Is that possible? Absolutely. But that's not what I teach. I teach about how to build a long-term lasting business. People who are not clear on their goals and lazy people who aren't willing to work. This is work. You know who knocks on the door of opportunity? Work. That's who. But it's the truth. It is the truth. I always assume that it was easy for the people to get where they got. Like, whether it's me or another investor. And it was not easy. I grinded it out every single day and hustled to make it happen. And you still have to. It's something that you always got to keep up with. It doesn't get easier. You just, the hustle after a while. So it's just kind of, you repeat it. All right, getting into the training. Here we go. This is the training. This is the best. If you could write down one thing, proper communication, this is the biggest contributor to my success in the MLS, to all of my student success. I have people that are even licensed agents that have used the MLS to try to get deals with no success. And as soon as I teach them about how to properly communicate with the agents, the listing agents, they get deal after deal after deal. So what and how you say it to the agents is critically important. And when I'm calling them, before I present the offer, I'm just feeling them out. I'm really just building rapport with them because I want them to like me. If they have 3 offers that are all similar, if the agent does not like you or thinks you're going to screw them somehow in the inspection or whatever the case is, they're not going to tell the seller, hey, they're saying this is probably the offer you don't want to take. This guy's pretty good. He's been really nice. He called me. We talked for 10 minutes on the phone. He asked me about, after I told him I was going to my daughter's recital, I asked him, what are they doing? What song? You just kind of play into, if they're talking, people love to talk about themselves. So I always ask them a lot of questions about the property. If they're opening up about themselves, whatever. It's extremely important that the conversations you have be before you even submit the offer, when you're calling to feel the property out. I have never submitted an offer in thousands of offers, never submitted one offer at this point as an agent or an investor, no matter how low the offer is, without calling the agent first. And I've also, I'll tell you something, I've never submitted a lowball offer in my life. Now my record is 32% off the list price. It was listed for $400. I bought it for $273. It was originally priced at $550. Now, but the point of this is it's not by mistake that I was able to get 32% off the list price, right? Like it's not every property that even qualifies for that. So you just have to, what you're saying to the agent and how you say it to the agent is critically important. Like I was telling you, let me tell you about estate sales, right? Estate sales, my favorite sale in the MLS, hands down by far. Half the time I'm not the highest cash offer they take. They say, hey, we have other cash offers, but because of all the seeds I planted in that conversation, they're not saying that, but that's what they mean. We want to sell it to you. If you'll just come up here, this just happened the other day. The offer was property listed for $169,900. I had called the agent, talked to the agent. We talked really well. She's an older agent. She was very talkative. I talked for a long time to her. Offered $160,000. Said it's my best shot. They had two offers at $170,000, $175,000. She sent me the offers, so I believed her. And I said, look, this is very important. Write this dialogue down right now because I use this all the time because this is true. I say, look, based on the repairs this house needs now, and I get my work done as cheap as anybody. I can't pay more than $160,000. So let's assume the guys at $170,000 and $175,000 both get the work done as cheap as me. I know I cannot pay that price and get the work done to get it to sell for top dollar and make a profit that's worthwhile or not putting me too close to losing money or at risk. So what are the odds that their plan is to get it under contract and then have you go and do the inspection. They go do the inspection and they ask you for a huge inspection credit. Like, so now they're at $170,000, but they might end up at $150,000 because they're going to ask you for a $20,000 or $25,000 inspection credit. And that's part of how they negotiate. Where me, I'm waiving the inspection. I'm going to do an inspection, but I'm buying it as is. I'm waiving my right to ask for anything as a result of the inspection. We can just, if you accept my offer, we can just schedule the closing. And so because you plant those seeds, they're like, oh, maybe are they going to do that? And I didn't used to do that. The reason I tell them that is because it does happen all the time. And so all I'm doing is educating the agent, talking to the agent. Now this is all after the offer's in, but that's how I get my offers accepted on estate sales when I'm not the highest cash offer. But I got to move on from this as much as I want to. I could talk for days about communication, but just calling the agent before you submit the offer. And what I was getting at earlier was the mindset you have to have. Like, so when you're getting a property that's listed for $400 down to $273, now a lot of people say it's a lowball offer. How do you get that lowball offer accepted? Well, how I get that lowball offer accepted? Well, first of all, to me, it's not a lowball offer. I've never submitted a lowball offer in my life. Now, I've submitted several offers that were, they were consistent with the property's current condition. I feel that my offer was for fair market value for its condition. I submit those offers every day of my life, but just because the sellers have it overpriced doesn't mean my offer is lowball. So if you have a mindset that this is a lowball offer, of course you're going to be embarrassed to call the agent. But if theirs is just overpriced and you know it, like for instance, that one, they were priced at $550 down to $400. I bought it for $273, but it was actually, I sold it for like I forget now, 85 or 495 that deal was a couple years ago, but still, like they were priced over where I sold it once it was rehabbed, and it was a full on gut rehab. So anyway, I'm going to move on from communication. Again, this is like the most important thing is how you communicate with the agents prior to even submitting the offer. It's a big deal. And here's how I learned that strategy. Now, this one I got 31% off. This is the first deal I made money on. I'll never forget it. Sam Pebble Drive in Schaumburg. But I'll go through it quick. Is 360 days in the market, original owners, no mortgage. I could tell that stuff from the public record. You can always look that up. You go to whatever county you're in, assessor's office, and you can see when they bought it, what the mortgage amount is, when the last time they took it is. They listed for $540 originally. They were down to $440, and I offered $300. This is because I was desperate. I was going to lose money in my first deal. So I submitted this offer expecting him to reject it because this is way under. This is a lowball offer. Like at this point, I'm like, I was just desperate. I hoped they would take it. But anyway, The agent was pissed, even though I talked to him several times. I went to this property 3 times before I submitted the offer. But guess what? They accepted my offer of $300. Now, I was as shocked as anybody else. And now I had put $5,000 earnest money in the contract, which I didn't have. And I certainly didn't have the $300,000 in cash that I wrote the offer with. But the agent did not ask me for a proof of funds. So when they accepted it, I had to start I was like, crap. I got to start calling. I need that $5,000. I need to find the rest of the money. And so if there's a will, there's a way. This deal was so good that I had friends of mine in the real estate business call me. They saw it close and they're like, was that a typo? Did that close for 400? Did that close for 300? Because a lot of them didn't know I was an investor at the time. So they thought it was an agent deal. Anyway, that property was a fantastic profit. We sold it for that was a long time ago now, $495. And it was a slam dunk deal. But that was the first deal. But that showed me what was possible. I only put that offer out there because I was super desperate. So speed. This is your next biggest tip here. The speed, the best deals are gone in hours, period. And for wholesaling the MLS, this is more critical than ever. You know, when you're wholesaling the private seller market, you have a little bit of time. When you're wholesaling the MLS, you better have buyers in mind, like at least 3. If you go to the first one, he says no. The second one, no. You got to have one of those 3 has to say yes. Best deals are gone in hours, more critical than ever in the MLS, and more critical with wholesaling than anything. So I'm going to show you 3 deals that I did this is in a market that's, considered low inventory, no deals in the MLS. And I realized that I needed to get about 3 deals into my rehab business. I do about 8 at a time. That's about what I do these days. So my phone doesn't ring too much. And so here, I'm going to show you these deals. I broke these up into, but here. So this deal number 1. Now this is what I'm going to show you about speed. Now this one was on the market for about a total of 38 days, but it's actually a little bit more than that. Because they had listed it before. I think it was about 20 days. So whatever, 50 days. It was on the market for a while. I go look. I'm fishing for deals. So I'm like, all right, this looks like, if I can get this thing, it's listed currently for $249 because I saw it on a price change. That's when I went to this property. And it went from $259 to $249. Went there, saw it, called the agent. He tells me they've rejected offers. Now, this is important. Write this down. He told me they rejected offers. And so that will tell most of my students and most people that are, even people that are experienced, like they hear that, they're like, all right, they're moving on. I hear they rejected offers. I'm like, awesome in my head. I don't tell the agent that, but I'm like, how many have they rejected? Because I want to know, is it 3, 4? The more it is, the better, meaning it's still on the market. So they still want to sell. And eventually they're either going to take it off the market or they're going to accept somebody's offer that's lower than they thought they would have to sell for, but consistent with the current market value for its condition. So this one was no different. I present my offer here when it's listed for $249.9, let's call it $250 for, $225, and I say this is the most I could pay. I can't pay a penny more. I always do that on my deals. I don't mess around. I don't try to steal them. I want them. If I can pay $225, I just pay it. And he says, the offer that she rejected last month was actually $235. Do you think you can come up to that? And of course, I said no. They came back at $230, but they did accept my offer of $225. So this particular property we're about to put it on the market pretty soon, actually. But either way, this will be a great 15% profit. That's always what I'm looking for in the back end of my deals is a minimum of 15% profit. Now, I own these deals for about 6 months at a time. So, from the day I buy it to the day I cash out of it is about 6 months, give or take, a month. Sometimes it's 5 months, sometimes it's 6.5. But either way, it's about 6 months. So, yes, I'm looking for a 15% total return. If I sell a house for $300, I'm looking to make $45,000, period. And so, but you do that twice a year and say it's the same money, you borrow $300,000, you make $45,000, you borrow $300,000, you make $45,000. That's a 30% return on money you borrow. Pretty good return there. But anyway, so this deal will be my typical, all these are going to be about a 15% return. Well, this one might be a little bit more. Here's another one. Now these are where speed was crucial here. Now this, you can see this was on the market, only 7 days, but, it actually went under contract on day 2. Because you can see it's contingent here. We've closed on it since, but anyway, this one was listed at $325,000, and I bought it for $325,000. Now I call the agent, see if the agent wants to represent me because they'll, usually can give you some more information. This agent didn't. I'm getting that more and more where they're not able to do dual agency because they don't want to do it. So that's no problem. That's why, I'm a licensed agent. That's why having a licensed agent on your team or being one yourself is important, because you can just put yourself down and then take the commission, versus having to call an agent and let them take the commission. So now this commission was paying 3%. So we paid $325 for it, but we're getting like 10 grand back. So it's like paying $315. But in conversation with the agent, I found out that's about all I needed to be at. I could be at $325 and win this deal, which we did. So this under contract right now, or I'm sorry, under construction right now. But still, like that was a deal that happened, very recently, and it was done in literally. They had multiple offers in 2 days. They accepted mine because of speed. Then I was evaluating that deal. I got back to my office, and all of a sudden, this popped up as a brand new listing. Like I was like, and it's literally this one was 5 minutes further from my house than this one. So I had to go back in my car, drive all from the house I was at. So it was 25 minutes away. I had just gotten back from right there, and they're like, oh, but it's just such a good deal. And the price did not make sense to me because I know this market very well. And as you can see, here I am as the agent. And this exact model, I know, this is this very popular ranch. One of these sold down the street for $450, and it was dated, very good condition, but completely dated. You see what this is listed for? $279. I'm like, what is wrong? So I go to the house again. Something's got to be wrong. Nothing's wrong. I call the agent. I feel out. She's like, nope, we got multiple offers. Just submit your highest. I'm like, oh, I'm going to go over list price. I want this house. What do I got to do to get it? She's like, well, I mean, she's offer as much as you can. I'm like, well, I don't want to pay too much on this. Can I get it for $290? And she said, yeah, that should work. And sometimes they say, hey, submit your best offer. They don't tell you. This one happened to give me a little extra. Just tell me. So I put $290, $500, and that's what I bought it for. Now, this particular property I feel is worth closer to $500, maybe even more when it's done. So this will be a little bit more. And I feel like this was underlisted. I don't know if the agent, because the listing that had closed was about 6 months prior. Maybe she didn't even see it. Maybe she didn't go back that far. I don't know. But all I know is I can't believe I got this thing for $290. I could have, turned around and sold it right then and made some good money, but I like doing the rehabs. It's close to my house, so it's an easy one. So anyway, those are the 3 deals I got in 9 days in a very busy market that people say there's no good deals at all. Certainly no good deals in the MLS, but I got 3 deals in 9 days. And, so one I paid 10% under list price because that was one that had been on the market for over a month or so. The one I paid brand new listing, I paid list price, and brand new listing, I paid $10,600 over. So, a wide variety, but speed is the key in all of those. And even on the one that's sitting on the market, once you start negotiating, you want to get that done quick, because you don't want to leave the window open for somebody else to come in, because they'll say, hey, we got, if they get another offer that calls them, they'll say, oh, hey, we got somebody at $225. If you're at $230, it's yours. You might lose a deal. They may come in at $226 or $227.5. So you got to get that locked up and contracted very quickly once you start going after it. All right. So proper searches, right? And now this is another thing that is a very, the people come to me that are experienced investors from the private seller market, but have started using the MLS, but they are not having any luck. And once I tell them how to structure their search, that's it. I mean, we give them the keywords, which you're going to get. I'm going to give you at the end of this training anyway. So you'll have that, and you just plug that into your MLS with geographic stuff, and that's all we do. Like literally, one of my students, like he had an agent on his team. Dan Jones was not the agent. But going through this portion of the training said it was a game changer for him because they were not getting any deals. They just weren't having any luck. Offer, and nothing. As soon as I showed him how to, how to look for the properties, they were going through just looking at every single listing, making offer, all these random offers on whatever, and there was no structure to it at all. Once I showed them how to put some structure to it, how to run the searches, it said they were looking at a fraction of the properties. Their offers were starting to get, immediately get accepted. So it's just a matter of how you're looking at the properties. But, it's important. You still want to check the MLS 3 times a day manually, because even the way we set up searches, if in your hotspot areas, which for me, like is the town I grew up in, Schaumburg, and where I live, and like some nice, the areas that are nicer around, I still have manually checked, because if they list it and they don't happen to use any of the keywords, which happens once in a while, well, that'll be a problem for you. So anyway, so I still have somebody check manually in every listing that comes on in my hotspot areas. So again, you can run searches geographically for zip codes or area codes, map searches just to circle like specific neighborhoods. But how you set up the search is critically important. But moving on. All right, market research, finding deals and finding hidden deals, what I like to call the MLS dealer profit hunting. But this is what I do if I need a deal and there's no new listings coming up, I jump in and I start finding hidden deals that that are sitting there on the market. And these are the ones that I implement my famous the dance strategy on. But also doing your market research and just finding deals that are out there, and the hidden deals will just come from knowing your market. And so the research you do is very, very important. But great opportunity here for estate sales, which is my personal favorite deal. You can also, this is where you look in the tax records to find what you do and do not want. Like you want to look in the tax records for low or no mortgage, or an old mortgage. Like if the mortgage is 20 or 25 years old, it's going to be very low. Or you want only no mortgages at all are also good. So you can look that up in all the MLSs have, in like the additional information tab or whatever, a public tax record service that takes you straight to that tax card that shows you when they bought it, what they paid, the current mortgages, all that stuff. So when I'm looking for deals with market time, like say I start with anything over 300 days of market time, well then I have my assistant, my VA, whoever, take all those properties, say there's 100 of them. Well, now go through and just find the ones that have no mortgage and give me those. And then go through the ones that have low mortgages or old mortgages and give me those. And so I have an A, B, and C pile. So that way I'm looking through stuff constantly of what's good deals, what's not good deals. And I'm starting with the ones that have no mortgage because that's obviously the best. But this is how I can go into any MLS in the country and pull out a deal right now that we will make 15% profit on in the next 6 months, because every MLS has these, and every time I go hunting for a deal, I find it every single time. So every MLS has these deals in it. You just have to know how to scrape through them to find the best deals. And doing your market research is what's going to help you, know your market and know how to do that. But look at the tax card. I mean, I do this stuff all day long. One of my favorite ways to find deals. But my favorite deals are estate sales, and those are gone in hours, literally hours. And, people always say, well, don't they want to wait for all the offers to come in? And they don't. The reason they don't is because this is somebody who, they either grew up in the house, their parents have owned it for 50 years, so their parents raised all their kids there. They were raised there, and they don't want people trampling through the house. It may or may not be in good condition now, that their parents raised their whole family in. People are beating it up or looking through stuff because they feel like people aren't living there, and they just don't, they don't want it. They don't want, they want to accept an offer of somebody who's going to close. So it is your job as the buyer or buyer's agent to convey your message to the agent, the listing agent, that you are the offer they should take, that you're going to give them very little trouble. You're going to make the closing process very easy. You're going to, waive the inspection if you can, or you feel comfortable to do that, because I do that on every deal. I have done an inspection of some sort. Either my project manager, or an inspector has gone through the property prior to me waiving the inspection. So I literally cross it out on the contract when I do this, and it's a huge strategy to get I buy it as is. I still do a full-on inspection where I could back out if need be, but that's not what that's for. And I don't do that, but still that's what I still do, an inspection just to make sure after we get it under contract. But either way, I can't ask them for anything as a result. I can back out as a result of it. I just can't ask them for anything as a result of it. But either way. All right, let me move on. Next big idea. I know I'm going fast. I see people are saying slow down. I got it. But I got so much stuff in here to get through, and we're just scratching I'm getting to the good stuff here. The REO agent, which is a great strategy. MLS access, and I got some really cool stuff about that. Some new stuff we're actually just opening up about how to get MLS access around the country. Really cool stuff. So, all right, moving on. So offer organization, right? You'll get about 10% of the deals in the MLS. You put detailed structured offers, right? This is the opposite of like the OfferBot style offers. OfferBot where you just throw out 200 offers at, 50% and see what sticks. Well, that doesn't work, and that burns up your name and your market. I've never done that. I will never do that. You don't want to be known as a guy that puts out frivolous offers without even scheduling showings. You just look like an unprofessional idiot. And a lot of the REO agents I know that are my friends tell me there's still guys doing that. There always has been. That's just part of the way some of these guys do business. And so what I do is the opposite of that. And I'm not an organized person by nature, but I've set up, tools and systems in my business that keep me organized. So, if you need to buy 10 deals, you might have to put out about 100 offers, 100 like detailed offers, structured offers. You go look at them, you run comps on them, you run a property repair estimate sheet on them, and you got to be in and out of that property in 10 minutes with your property repair estimate sheet on, and being able to figure out what it needs and about how much it's going to cost. Because if you're going to see, 20 properties, 30 properties in a week, you can't spend an hour at each property running hard numbers on them. You're only going to get 10% of them. So you see 30 properties, you might get 3 of those. And so you can't spend an hour in all of them. That's all you'll do. So Anyway, how you keep, I've had as many as 180 offers on, let's see here. I've had as many as 180 offers on this exact spreadsheet, right? And so what it is it's very simple. You got the address. You might want to write this down. You got the property address. You got the agent, his name and phone number. The sale type. And we also write in here if he's dual agent, is the agent representing us or not? The MLS number, the last list price when we made our last offer, and the last offer date, the lockbox type, combo, whatever, and any notes, like, hey, this agent's kind of a jerk, or they rejected because of this, or blah, 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 or the market time was too soon. They wanted to wait till it gets 15 days or more, whatever it is. That way, if you have 100 properties on here, it doesn't matter. You just go to the address and look up, okay, the agent, call, yeah. Fantastic. Let's put the offer back in. So anyway, the purple stuff is actually off the market stuff. That stuff that was on the market, they accepted nobody's offer, and now they're off the market, not listed anymore. Now this is actually a great opportunity to market to them as a private seller, because you can. You're right. You can go knock on their door. You can drop off a door hanger. You can send them a mail piece that you want to buy their house for cash. Now you can't do that if you're licensed, especially. But you can't do that if you're licensed and it's listed in the MLS. So but once they cancel, that's a different story. So in the light blue, you got resubmitted. That means we've submitted an offer. It was rejected, and now we've resubmitted it for whatever reason. Then you have yellow, which is the properties we have under contract. YSP is just my company name. YSP is Yellow Star Properties. So that's ones we currently have under contract. Orange is on page 2, is under contract, not with us, but it hasn't closed yet, so we're still watching it. And then, again, purple's off the market. And pink is still active, meaning they've accepted nobody's offer. But using a spreadsheet like this, it's so easy to track the offers. So anyway, I hope you wrote that down. Good, very good stuff there. It's, literally, we follow up. I bought properties, REOs especially, in this offer follow-up process. And everybody always asks me, hey, I'm brand new to the MLS. Where should I start? I'm overwhelmed. I don't know where to start. Reactivated sales. The reactivated sales. So this is a property that's gone under contract. The deal fell apart for whatever reason, and now it's back on the market. If you get to that within a couple of, especially REOs, within a couple hours, resubmit your offer or submit a new offer, within 5% of their list price, if you can, or you submit whatever you can. But especially if you're within 5%, if it's an REO that was under contract for 60, 90, even 120 days, which happens, believe it or not, because of these FHA 203K nightmare loans. Home renovation loans. But that's the truth. They take 60 days when they go smooth. When things go wrong, which is almost always, they're up to 90. So between 90 and 120 days, if you see an REO, which just means foreclosure, come back on the market, that is an absolute gold mine of an opportunity, because they had it sold. They had it off the books for several months, and now all of a sudden it's back in their active inventory. It makes that asset manager look bad for the bank. So they want it gone off their books very, very quickly. So anyway, if you're looking where to start in the MLS, just look at reactivated sales and act extremely fast. Call the agent, like I said, build rapport. See if the agent could double end you. Double end the deal, meaning represent you as the buyer. Obviously, they're already representing the seller. That's always helpful. The more and more agents are not doing that anymore, it doesn't matter. Just, factor the commission into the deal. But this is why either being licensed or having a licensed agent on your team is important. But, the commission doesn't matter anyway. It's a bonus money, so why wouldn't you want it? But just make sure you have an agent to bring in, to represent you so you can still put an offer on the deal if they cannot do dual agency, right? So offer organization, offer follow-up, the reactivated sale jackpot, those are huge. The reactivated sale, you could just, if you wanted to just do like 2 or 3 deals a month, you could just follow reactivated sales, and that you would get, about 10%, maybe even a little more on the reactivated sales, especially if you got quick enough. That would be where I would go. All right, so moving on. So here is just a couple of quick properties that I wanted to show you about. Here is the one I told you about. Listed for $400, if you can see that. Hopefully you can. Originally $550, and I bought it for $273. 331 days in the market. And the crazy thing is, when I submitted this lowball offer, is people always tell me, how do you get your lowball offers accepted? When I submitted this offer, the agent was like, oh, you said it was going to be closer to 300, not under 300. Because every time I went and saw the property, I would call the agent, she thought I saw it 4 times. I only saw it once. But that's part of the dance strategy. I don't have enough time to go into that right now. But anyway, But when when I if you stick around for the Q&A, I don't want to hold everybody up. I'll go over the dance. But ask me about the dance later if you would like to know about it. But anyway, usually it takes a couple days to negotiate these when I get this big of a discount. But literally, I gave her the $273. She called me back 10 minutes later. Offer accepted. So awesome. So all right. So this one, I just want to show you here. Look, this was 3 days in the market. It listed for $195, and people are like, "Oh, I can't pay that." They don't even go see it. They're like, there's no way." I bought it for $134 on day 3. It was only worth like $280 when it was done, and they had it way over listed. So I didn't submit a lowball offer. I just showed them why they were wrong, and they agreed and took my offer. So that's it. All right, so let's go. This is Allegheny. Now, this one is, and I'll close with an S. It's this S here, but it's actually not a short sale. It was a foreclosure because I bought it. I know. But the point is, this was a first look program, or owner occupied only for the first 15 days, which it went under contract because it was in a great area. But this was a 3,000 square foot house that was gutted. It didn't even have drywall on it. It was gutted down to the studs, the entire house, because the previous owner who let the house go, before he moved, he moved out, took a bunch of the cabinets with him from the kitchen supply or kitchen appliances. And then he turned on the water to the master bathroom tub, locked all the doors, and left. This house, the basement literally filled up with water. It busted out all the windows down there. Crazy. But anyway, so this was not your average project. Big rehab. But it was under contract with an owner-occupant right away. And as you see that day 43, on day 35 or so, the agent came to me and said, and this is still under contract. It's an REO agent that I know, a foreclosure agent I know. And he said, hey, he goes, hey, I got this deal under contract at $245. He goes, I think the bank will sell it to you for $235. Can you go look at it? I'm like, all right. I go look, and I'm like, no, I can't pay this thing needs like 80 to 100 grand, maybe more. And I said, I can't pay $235. I'm not. I'm interested at like $190. I'll offer $185. I offered $185 to close in 2 weeks. By the way, the buyer did have an FHA 203K home renovation loan. They realized they got it over their head and they wanted out. So the bank countered at $190. Now, all the while, this is under contract in the MLS because they hadn't officially rejected the other offer, or the buyers hadn't officially backed out, I should say. And they accepted my offer of $190. And so it went active contingent within 10 minutes. Nobody else ever even had a shot. This was just because I knew this REO agent, had built a relationship with him. I let him double on the deals, that he brings to me. And so this was something it was win-win. He got to, make extra money. I got a deal that made me a ton of money, and it was win-win. So you're like, those deals were just like, because people always have an expectation about how the MLS works, especially if you're an agent. Or you're working with an agent, or you have an agent team member. Agents only look at the MLS as agents. So the reason I'm showing you this stuff is showing you what else is possible when you use the MLS as a real estate investor, right? Like, it's totally different. Looking at it, like I was an agent first, and looking at it as an agent and an investor night and day. So I know I'm cruising. I know I'm going fast. I see your comments that I'm going fast. I know I talk fast too, but I will stick around for your questions. Just know that I'm trying to get as much. I was going to cut this presentation down. I went through it. I'm like, I can't cut anything out, right? So you're like, all right, this is great, Jim. Like, how are all these top real estate investors using these strategies to get the most profitable deals out of their markets? How are they having so much success? Making so much money, especially when all I keep hearing is there's no good deals in the MLS, or the MLS is too competitive. Well, here's how they do it. They set goals, right? Like, how big is your goals? You need to set a goal that is higher than you think possible, much higher. Set a goal so high that your friends will laugh at you, right? Have you heard that before? Set a goal so high that your friends will laugh at you, and then you'll know if they don't laugh at you and they're encouraged, you got the right friends if they're encouraging you. If they do laugh at you, get some new friends. Period. And you want to set goals that you can hit 80% of also, right? 80% goals is very, very important, because if you hit 100% of the goals you set every week on your weekly goals, well, you set them way too low. They were way too obtainable. They were easy for you. You want to set goals so high that you're going to hit about 80%. And at the end of the week, you know what? You get to readjust them. So that way you're always struggling. You're always giving it 100%, 100%, 100%. Visualizing your goals is very important. This is my goal board right here, right? So you got my kids on here, some older pictures from when they were younger, pictures more from now. But what's cool here is all these things that I have around here. And I'll show you a couple that are some of my favorite. This is from, I read these every day. This one is from Henry Ford, and it says, whether you think you can or you can't, you're right. And then this one is from Tony Robbins. I love it. It got me through. It still gets me through a lot of stuff. As I'm an entrepreneur, I'm always building businesses. And it says, success is buried on the other side of frustration. Success is buried on the other side of frustration. Just know that that is true. Nobody's going to get to a point of success without some level of frustration. And then once you break through that frustration, you'll have your success. And then you got this one, which is you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. It's from Wayne Gretzky. But I've actually moved that one now. I love that. But the one I put in its place, I like even better. This is from Jim Rohn. And it says, write this down. If you haven't heard it, I highly recommend putting this on your goal board, certainly on your computer's desktop for the screensaver. If you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. It's from Jim Rohn. It's R-O-H-N if you know who he is. Jim Rohn's a great speaker, great motivational guy. He's passed away now, but great guy. Love his stuff. But that is so true. I'll give you a couple other of my favorite quotes in a minute here. But setting goals, very important. I want to make sure I went over that and how to do it. So here's the goal chart, right? You set a goal. Everybody knows how to do that. You make a plan that you have to, after you set goals, you have to make a plan of how to attain those goals. Some people don't realize that. They think you just set goals and, oh my God, you reached the goal somehow. You have to set the goal, make a plan of action, get to work on that plan of action. And then this is where everybody falls off. It's sick to it. For some reason, people like, wow, this is hard. This real estate investor stuff, man, I thought I was just going to start flipping property, making checks tomorrow. I thought this stuff was easy. No wonder those guys make so much money making those big checks. This stuff is hard. Whew. And it's not hard once you know what to do, but anything worth doing is going to take some of your time. I mean, it's not going to be easy. And then to reach your goal, but just most people have a problem. All right. So enough about goal stuff. So picture this, right? So what do you want? You want one extra property, a month to flip? What do you want two? Maybe you're a baller and you need an extra 4 deals a month, right? Look, there's a guy in my market that I met recently that I was told is doing over 250 deals a year. And I went and met with him. He's not in my direct market, about an hour away. And so I went and met with him to see if there's a way for us to work together, trade deals. And I was surprised to find out that he got 80% of his deals out of the MLS. So he's pulling about 13 deals a month out of the MLS in his area. And I was surprised, not shocked by that, but I thought a guy doing 250 deals a year would have some underground source to a bank, a bank that gave him REOs off the market or an auction source that he used. And he does do both of those things, but 80% of his deals came straight from the MLS. So what was your why again? Because if your why isn't strong enough, none of this matters anyway, right? We're setting up goals for income. Like, what do you want? You got a picture. What are you looking for? Do you want an extra deal? 2 deals? You want 10 grand a month, 20 grand a month? You have to write it all down, reverse engineer what you want, right? All right, let's break it down. So 12 deals in 12 months with 30,000 in profit, which is very realistic. We're talking about $360,000 a year from 12 deals. That's 1 deal a month with 30,000 in profit. But let's say you don't want to do that many deals. You just want to do 6 deals. And let's say you only make 25,000. 6 deals. It's 1 deal every other month. And you only make 25,000 on those deals. That's $150,000 in 1 year of profit from doing 6 deals. You could do that in the MLS all day long. And I'll show you a case study from a student of mine. We made 30% on a deal that he sold for 94 grand, which means he made like 30 grand, 31 or something. But anyway, so, all right, writing strong, powerful offers. You're going to want to write this stuff down because this is how it all comes together, right? Like this is how it all comes together. Like if you don't know how to, you have to use, first of all, your board contract. If you're coming from the private seller market, your 2-page contract is not going to work. The real estate agent cannot use it. He cannot present it to his client because it does not protect him on his errors and omissions. You might hear of E&O insurance. They need to use their board-approved contract in order to be protected by their insurance. So you have to use their board-approved contract. You cannot use your contract that has only 2 pages or 1 page or whatever. It doesn't work. It does not work. So if you don't know how to use the board contract or don't know it, go hire an attorney, hire a real estate agent, somebody to sit down with you to go over it. I have every time they make changes to ours, which when I started it was 1 legal page and now it's 13 pages. I always sit down with an attorney to explain the changes to me. So if you don't know how to write an offer, you got to do that. All right, write this stuff down. This is very important. Write this stuff down. I'm going to go through this slide quickly, so write it down, write it down, write it down. Cash or cash equivalent. Cash offers, if you have the cash in the bank, good for you, great. Cash equivalent. We're talking about hard money loans, private money loans. If somebody's giving you their self-directed IRA money, like they're your private lender, that's a cash offer because there's no underwriting, right? They're just giving you your money. They've agreed to give you the money for the deals. There's no underwriting. They trust that you're putting your money, yourself on the line, borrowing the money, and so those are cash offers. So quick closings. I write every one of my deals for 2 weeks. If you have the cash and you're writing a cash offer, you don't want to write, you could write 30 days, but you want them to know you can close very, very quickly. I mean, if it's cash, why can't you? So they might wonder if you write 30 or 45 days, why is that? If it's cash, can't you close quicker? I mean, 30 days, they might not question it and just let them know we can close quicker if need be. But 45 days or certainly 60, they're going to start wondering about that. So we always write 2-week closings. Large earnest money deposits. Every deal I do $5,000. Now I'm in a market. My average purchase price is about $220 on my deals. But even if you're, at $20,000 or $50,000, it doesn't matter what your average purchase price is. You don't want to try to get away with $500 or $1,000. I mean, if you're a wholesaler, whatever. But even then, all you do is if you put down $1,000 as a wholesaler, you just if you get the money from whoever you're selling it to and get $1,000 or get your whole wholesaling fee right then and get $1,000 of it hard, where you can't. That way you get your money back and you can't lose it. So, but I've been testing 2,500 just to see if it works in my market, and it does. I've gotten no resistance at 2,500, but we're still doing 5,000. But I still was testing out 2,500 recently. I waive the inspection. Do that if you can. I explained that earlier. I either go through it, my project manager goes through it, a contractor goes through it, an inspector goes through it, somebody goes through it. And all we're really looking for is structural stuff. And I don't bring a ladder because a ladder doesn't fit in my car. So I don't look in the attic to see if there's mold. So I'm looking for structural stuff. I can usually see that. Because structural stuff is going to be a problem is usually pretty glaring. Houses shifted, huge cracks, deflection where a crack separated, not a big deal. But a crack separated and then shifted forward or backward also with deflection, that's a big deal. So anyway, waive the inspection because you're buying it as is. You tell them, I'm still going to do an inspection, but the offer is not contingent upon it. And so you have to know what you're doing in order to do that, but that will get you tons of deals you never expected. Proper proof of funds. Proof of funds has to match the name on the contract, period. If your private lender is giving you the money, which is fine, but if your private lender is giving you the money and you're trying to submit your proof of funds with his name on it, with your name on the contract, it's not going to work, especially for REOs. You might be able to talk yourself into that on an estate sale, if the agent doesn't really know better. For a regular sale, I've made offers, when I was early in my career where they never even asked for the proof of funds, believe it or not. I said cash and they said, okay. But a proper proof of funds is very important. So you could take your private lender, write this down. If you have a private lender that has their bank statement or, their proof of funds are going to give you $200,000, you can go sit down with an attorney and say, look here, attorney, I'm Yellow Star Properties, and this is Joe Schmo. Joe Schmo, here's his proof of funds with $222,000 on it. He's going to let me borrow $200,000 of that at any time that I want. Can you write a letter saying you're aware that Yellow Star Properties has access to $200,000 in cash at any time, and if they have any questions, they can call you and date it. And then can you give me that in like a Word document so I can change the date, so that way I can just keep using this proof of funds over and over and not have to bother you. So that is one way to get a proof of funds when you are borrowing money from somebody else. So giving the agent both sides of the commission is huge, dual agency. Now, again, the more and more as my career's gone on, at the beginning, I did this every deal that I could. Now, really only REOs mostly and some other sales, but agents a lot of times these days are not signing the dual agency on the listing agreement, so they can't even do it, which is fine. We just take the commission and put it into the deal. Like that one deal I explained earlier, I went 10,500 over. I was getting a commission on that. So I think it was about $8,000 total. Let's call it 7. I think it was 7. So I was listed for 280. We'll call it 280. It was 279.9, and I bought it for 290,500. So that is like paying 283.5. So I went $3,500 or $3,600 over, including the commission that I'm getting. Yes, it was 10,600 on paper, but to me it was only 3,500 over because I got a commission on that deal. But I could have paid the 290,500 anyway without the commission, so it doesn't matter. It was just bonus money. That's why having a license or a licensed agent on your team is important. So submitting your offer with the articles of incorporation. So if you have an LLC legally formed, you're going to have articles of incorporation, and banks oftentimes will ask for that. But I just submit it with all the offers anyway, even on estate sales, because it makes you look more professional. It makes you look like you know what you're doing. It makes you like, yep. The buyer on there is Jim Hunsaker, and he can sign on behalf of this LLC because he is one of the owners of it. And so that's what that articles of incorporation, it just sets you aside from all the other yahoos out there. That's what you're trying to do with this. You're trying to set yourself up for getting your offer accepted based on how you write and present the offer. Because, so many of these people don't even fill out the offer properly, let alone, with all this stuff, taken into consideration. And then a cover letter, right? Basic cover letter on company letterhead, it doesn't have to be some crazy long thing. People always get overwhelmed with this. Like, just this says, like, hey, you're a residential redeveloper. I would use that. Write that down. A residential redeveloper. It's been in business X amount, or, if you're new, just say, affiliated with a company that's 30 years of experience, like your local RIA with hundreds of local investors. You have a network of investors that, there's several ways you could think to put on there, but people don't do the cover letter. So just put 3 or 4 lines that tell a little bit about your company, how much you've done, who you sell it to, because that's important. Like who you sell it to, meaning we have on ours that we sell to young couples and young families, because that's who 99% of our properties go to, is young couples and young families. Because in my market, who pays top retail dollar for completely rehab properties? Young couples and young families. So once in a while, if it's a ranch, we'll sell it to a younger couple. Or an older couple rather, but usually that's who we're selling them to. So they might have 3 or 4 offers on an estate sale that are all going to sell it to whoever gives them the highest offer once they do the rehab. But I'm the only one that's telling them that I'm going to sell it to a young couple or young family. Now, if that's the elderly person that lived there for 50 years that's selling the house and they see that, I've had them take my offer that was lower because they wanted me to sell it to a young couple or young family. That's who they wanted to get the house. Now, any of the other offers is going to sell it to the young couple or young family also, but they don't say that in their offer. In fact, they didn't even call the agent. They just submitted the offer and they hid behind the email. They didn't do anything. So the agent doesn't have anything from them. Like call. You have to call first. Moving on. Everybody got this? Yes, no. Okay. Come on. We're approaching, this is an hour here. I wanted to be done. I got a few more things to go over. So come on. All right. I'm moving on. Moving on. Ask me about it at the end if you still have some questions. I can bring it back up. All right. Here is a deal from a student of mine that I was telling you about, Jeff. Now this is in Ohio. So bank-owned foreclosure out of the MLS, originally listed for $29,900. This is in a very different market. I was down to $24,000, but he submitted the offer of $15,000 at $29,900. And then that was the end of it. He would never follow up with the agent. He never called the agent before. He never, he said to me when he started working with me, well, won't the agent just call me when, if he knows my offer is $15,000. They don't do that. It's just not how it works. So, here is, let's see. So $29,900, it dropped to $24,000. He submitted the $15,000 again, calling the agent. He's like, I'll submit it, but I don't know if they're going to do it. So he finally got it after about 70 days in the market. So anybody could have gone and get this deal, right? 70 days in the market. His purchase price was $15,000. They finally accepted it. But the point is, he never went back and tried to resubmit and call the agent, talk to the agent, build rapport with the agent. He never did that. That was Jeff's biggest, coming out of my course. This was Jeff's, the biggest thing he will tell you is that I helped him with the little things, like how to follow up with the agent, how to be consistent. That's just stuff he wasn't doing, how to call the agent first. So his rehab estimate was $30,000. The village, like a lot of villages, spent $9,000 of his dollars, so $39,000. So he's put $39,000 into a $15,000 house. $10,000 holding and selling, but he sold it for $94,000. Now he owned this thing for 5 months, from closing to closing, because he sent me the closing statements. Because if I'm going to show you a case study like this, I gotta see the proof. So I'm not not just somebody blowing fluff. So I have his closing, his purchase and sale closing statement, and 5 months he made $30,000 or 31%. I mean they're rounded here obviously, and but still. Phenomenal return. Great job there, Jeff. That's just awesome. Now, here's another one of my students, Jamish. Now, Jamish, he came in just to my program recently. See, this is his pictures on Facebook. I'm sure you can go find him and see his pictures. I keep seeing him post pictures. He had to dig a huge hole in the backyard recently, too. But anyway, point being, he said 2 weeks into my course, before he even finished anything with the course, he had REO agents, which are foreclosure agents, bringing him off the market deals. And I'll tell you about that in a second here. But that was his biggest thing for was literally in the second week, he learned how to have the REO agents bring him off the market deals before they even hit the market. They all have to go on the market, but here's his first property he got as a result of that. Awesome stuff. Good job, Jamish. And now here's another one. Now this guy was a licensed agent. After going through Jim's course, I just say it's pure gold. What he teaches are things I didn't even know as an agent. The money and time I will save on marketing costs is incredible. MLS Domination alumni, Jason. All right, let's go through a couple deals I just did. So here's one on Fremont. I'll go quickly here. Now, and here you might see this. I just want to go through. This is an SEC thing for my protection and yours. Results not typical, right? And the numbers are rounded to the nearest dollar. But the reason I say results not typical is, as you probably know, most people want to become real estate investors, and they can't. It's hard. It's difficult. You got to know a lot. There's a lot of training, a lot of education. And so the reason I say it's not typical is because most people don't get the education, and they think they're going to make this kind of money. So I can't say just because you if you decide to join my program, which I hope you do, that you're going to make this kind of money. But I'll show you some deals. And these deals aren't even great. I'm not even showing you ones with fantastic profit because I want to show you what's realistic. I mean, the next one you'll see what I mean exactly. Anyway, so this is a great one because this was just sitting on the market. They were at 269, and I saw it when they lowered it to 249.9. That's when I saw it. That day, I went and saw the property because it's actually right by my house, and I offered 210. And they said, no, we just lowered it 20 grand. So they were at 269, and basically the next day they lowered it, and then I ended up buying it for 210 that day. I got them. It took a day, so one day after. But so basically this went from 270 to 210. Most people don't think that's even an option, but it's all how you present the offer. It's all you got to talk to the agent. You got to feel them out. This lady had rejected offers too. It was just a matter of timing. I said I would close in 2 weeks. I said I would waive the inspection. I said I don't care about the water in the basement because I don't. I'll figure out where the water's coming from. We'll patch it. We'll redirect the water outside. This house, we had to pitch the house. We had to redo the gutters and pitch the dirt away from the house. Not uncommon stuff. Patch the crack in the basement with a lifetime warranty, and we're done. Anyway, but that's why the seller took the 210 because I said I'm already aware of that stuff. I don't care about it. Now the market time on the listing was 22 days, but the actual total market time was 141. So they had canceled and relisted it with other agents is what happened here. Anyway, marketing rehab cost 56.9, holding and selling 27.1, sales price 343.5, profit 49.5 or 14.4%. So I owned this for just about 17 days over 6 months. So that was in about a half a year that happened. Now here's another one. The reason I put this picture is because the outside didn't change too much because this was an all brick house. And so the front before and afters don't look that different. But here the kitchen is dramatic. Watch this. See? I mean, look at that. That is what they had. That is what we have. But anyway, so here, so that deal I just showed you on Fremont was just sitting on the market. I saw it. Now this one was brought to me by an agent that said, hey, I think you can get this thing for 180, possibly. He was a listing agent. He goes, I don't know what this guy will take. He said, but I think, he might be open to 180. And I went and saw it. I'm like, I can't pay 180. I'm going to put the offer in at 170. So 58 days on market time. He called me at day like 50. No one needed a price reduction at that point. And I owned this one for 9 days over 6 months, but this was an extensive rehab on this one, more than we expected actually. And we had contractor issues, we had village issues. I won't go back to this village. This village was a pain in the butt. But anyway, point being, lots of unexpected. This was about 20,000 over what we expected for the rehab cost on this particular property. So anyway, it happens. It's part of rehabbing, but that's why I'm showing you what's realistic, right? And so we sold it for 310. The profit on this was only 29.9, which is 9.6%, right? That's not great. I mean, a lot of the gurus out there say you got to make 30% on every deal, which we want to make as much profit as possible, but we're always shooting for 15%. That's what we get. But here, let me break this down for you to show you a realistic profit perspective. So I did this deal in 6 months where we made 14%. Let's not even care about the dollar amount. Made 14%, 14.4. Westwood, I made 29, only 9.6, right? 9.6. Now, if you add these up, this is a 24% return in a year. I own these properties both for about 6 months. So in 1 year with these two deals combined, that's a 24% return on money I borrowed. I'm pretty good with that. Like, I don't own any stocks because I don't know anything about the stock market, and I'm not some stockbroker who doesn't. If I lose my money, it doesn't matter. If I make money, he makes money. If I lose money, he makes money. That does not work for me. So I don't own one stock at all because I don't know anything about it. I own real estate, and I could turn 24% return all day, even when stuff goes wrong on the money that I'm borrowing. I borrow 100% of the acquisition and 100% of the rehab. So even when I'm trying to make 15%, which I did, I fell a little short there, and I fell very, very short here. I still was able to squeak out a 24% total return. I don't know if your IRA is making you that kind of money. I don't know if your financial guy is making that kind of money. All I know is this is a really good return that I'm really happy with, and stuff went wrong on these two deals. So anyway, moving on. You're like, that's great, Jim. What do I need to do to really use the MLS as a deal source? Oh, let me get this thing out of the way. Sorry about that. And yeah, to get all these deals and to make more money, right? Well, I put this in here because it's funny, but the truth is, people don't take action. That is like the biggest problem with real. They do not take action. They want to learn and then they get scared. And so the houses are not going to flip themselves. I mean, the craziest thing. I worked years ago for a big national. They're great. It's part of how I learned the business too. But it's a big national now real estate education company, and they charge a minimum $25,000. And I was coaching for them. And these people would come in there and expect this to be a magic pill. Like, okay, I just paid $25,000. Here's my coaching call. Okay, I'd like to flip a house today now. Where is my profit check, please? And they thought joining the program, they would be flipping houses immediately. The program gives you all the tools and access to people that can help you with it, but it's still work. So anyway, I mean, like I said, you know who answers the door of opportunity when you knock on it? Work. That's who answers. All right, let's go down some MLS Access stuff here. I'm almost done, getting wrapped up. All right, because I got a really cool thing to go over about MLS Access after this. Some MLSs around the country that we have a unique situation for. 4 ways to get MLS Access if you don't have it, right? You can get a real estate license. I didn't used to teach about that, but people didn't know that if you get a real estate license in your state, you can pay to have access to the MLS, period. You just have to get a license. So if you're going to be a serious real estate investor, somebody on your team should have a real estate license. Become a licensed agent's assistant. Now, I know people all over the country that do this. I found out about it from a couple of my buddies that are wholesalers in my market, the only 2 wholesalers I buy from. And they pay for the access. One guy pays $1,500 plus the MLS dues a year, so he pays about $1,850 a year for MLS access. And the other guy pays $1,000 plus the MLS dues, so he pays about because the MLS dues are about $350. He pays about $1,350 a year for MLS access. Now, these guys are wholesalers. They do not want to be licensed, so they don't have to because you have to disclose that you're licensed if you're talking about real estate, especially on a wholesale deal. And on the wholesale shuffle, especially in the private seller market, I call it the wholesale shuffle. It's better in that situation if you don't have to say you're licensed. If you're wholesaling the MLS, doesn't matter because on the contract, you just put your buyer name, Illinois licensed realtor, and/or signs. It doesn't matter. But anyway, having an assistant on your team. So you got to find an agent, and I'll explain, the right agent in a minute here, but finding an agent that's doing like only a handful of deals, 2 or 3 a year from a small brokerage in most cases, like not a national chain that's in your market, and asking them if you can do I have MLS access. You'll pay them $1,000. You also get, if you're not licensed, you can use them to sell. You can work out a deal like, a flat fee or, 3.5%, 4% total because you have to pay out 2.5% or whatever's customary in your market to the buyer side. So this is a big one, becoming a licensed agent's assistant. And that's what I'll go through on the next slide with you. We have some markets around the country that we actually have that open for. Getting a licensed agent on your team. And I mentioned that earlier. What I mean by that is somebody who, like me, I'm a licensed agent on my team. When I get commissions, I don't take the commission. I mean, they get thrown into the pot. Like that one deal was $315. The commission was like 90. We'll call it 90. Let's call it 10,000. So the purchase price is actually $315 on our net sheet that we're running. We start with $315 because that is the price we paid because the $10,000 in commission just goes into it. Now, people always get confused and ask me questions at the end of this, like, well, how does that work with your income taxes? Well, I keep the $10,000 commission. Like that stays in my account. It gets paid to me by my broker. I'm going to pay income tax on that. But so I keep it right away. But let's just say on that deal, we make $50,000 and my portion of that's $25,000. Well, $10,000 of it's already in my account. So they're only going to give me $15,000 because that's how we ran those numbers. I already have $10,000 of it. So kind of a bonus about being the agent is you'll get some of your profit up front when you buy the deal. So anyway, a licensed agent on your team is somebody who does not, they are not concerned with the commission. It's not part of how they get paid, meaning that their only concern is their profit or loss in the back end. They're part of the profit in the back end, they're part of the loss. And how much is up to you? Like, do you have 2 partners and you're both 50-50? All right, great. One does, maybe one does construction, one does, is a licensed agent. Maybe the licensed agent's only a small part and they only get 20% or 10%. But it has to be something that's fair and win-win because you want them to keep doing this, right? So anyway, But you could find these agents. Here, field agents also. Now, field agents are somebody that I use in my market because my market's huge. I'm in Northern Illinois, suburban Chicago. I've had 8 looking for me when I was buying a ton of houses back in 2010 and 11. But these are agents you put in a very specific market, like just Schaumburg or just, one area in Schaumburg is where my office is. That's why I use that. And say, I got people at every other town around here, so don't bring me anything outside of Schaumburg. But you're looking for an agent that does like 8 to 10 deals in Schaumburg a year. You want some agent that knows it well. You go through what we do, show them a rehab. You're going to want to meet with them at least once a month to kind of, because if you're not buying from them every month, but when you call them, you want to say, hey, look, I want to buy houses only in Schaumburg. I'm a rehabber, and I'm opening up the Schaumburg market and starting to use the MLS. I'm going to do probably 3 to 5 deals in Schaumburg this year. Can you help me? Are you interested in helping me find some properties? Don't say you're calling to flip property. Say you're a real estate investor that's opening up a new market. That's what you say. Anyway, you can go to Trulia.com, Trulia, or Zillow, Zillow. And on the front page, you can find agents in your market. Type in Schaumburg or whatever your market is, and you will find agents that are there. And then you want one with that does about, anywhere from 3 to 10 deals in that market a year. So anyway, I got to move on. I know I'm going fast. I will get to that question right there about team members and assistants. And actually I'll answer the assistant question now. So I see your questions coming in. I will get to them. I'm almost done. We're wrapping up. All right. So MLS Access, new edition. This is awesome. I'm in the process of building this out right now. I just added this slide right before the presentation. So MLS Domination, Assistant and Bird Dog Training Program. This will come with direct MLS access. It's going to cost, it's going to be whatever the MLS dues are for an assistant. In Northern Illinois, it's $360 or $380 a year is what it costs. I have a full-time assistant who is, has full access to my online portal. But I also have bird dogs that work for me that all they do is scrape the MLS, and they have access too. Now, my assistant, she lists all my properties. I want her to see everything. But the bird dogs, I don't want them to see everything. All I want them to do is be able to run and save searches, because they have to be able to run searches to find the properties to bring to me, say, hey, here's a deal. I got one. And I pay them on a commission basis, meaning every deal I buy, it's not commission, it's a marketing fee. But everyone I buy, they get paid. They only get paid on deals I buy, and I pay them $1,000. So that's, those are assistants. So people always look at assistants as only a real estate agent's in-house assistant who sits at a desk every day. Well, that is one of the type of assistants, but real estate agents are not the only ones that use the MLS. Real estate investors also use the MLS. So, you're allowed to have assistants too in several different kinds. So that's why we have the assistant and bird dog training program, because I got bird dogs in there working for me. And also, got to train assistants to know how to work the MLS for real estate investors. They can bring you deals. You can partner on deals. It's all kinds of good stuff. So this is people always say, well, isn't this not allowed? You're allowed to have assistants. If you're a licensed agent, you can have an assistant. You can have several assistants. Some guys have 50 assistants. A lot of these top REO guys in my market, you'll see on their business card in the MLS, they have like 50 assistants. So there's no limit. You just have to pay per year per assistant. So here's how we're doing it. We're in the markets we have it open up, and I'll show you in a second. It's $1,000 a year is what it's going to cost, plus the MLS dues for whatever that MLS is. So if the MLS dues are $450, it's going to be $1,450 a year. But you can get direct MLS access right now in this bird dog and assistant training program in these MLSs around the country. Here they are. We got the one I'm in, which is in Northern Illinois. MRED is Connect MLS. You got the San Diego County, fantastic. There's 2 that we have in New Jersey right now. They're both in the northern and central. So you got Northern New Jersey with Golden State MLS. You got the Middlesex County, and that's in I think more central New Jersey. We got the 2 MLSs that are both in Atlanta, the FMLS and GA MLS. And then we have Nevada. It covers most of Nevada. I think about, certainly the Vegas, Reno, Henderson, all the big ones are in there. We got Central Florida, which is like Orlando to Tampa. And then we also have Kansas City Metro. So these are all the areas we're currently in. We're adding them on every day. But if you're in one of these markets and you don't have MLS access and you want it, well, we'll go through MLS Domination here in a minute. But if you do end up signing up for MLS Domination, well, we'll get you into that program as well. We're almost done. I got one more thing to go over about REO agents here, and I'll go quick. But the smaller REO agents will be your most consistent stream of deals. Looking for an agent that does about 15 deals or less a year. Now, this is like the most important thing in here about getting deals. this will be your most consistent stream of deals, but it takes a level of education to approach these agents in most cases because people are always intimidated to do so. But these are the agents you can get on the phone. You can go see their property. You can call them. They will call you back. You can email them. They will email you back directly. Where the larger REO agents don't even get back to you. You can only get a hold of their staff. But anyway, these are the guys that can double on the deal, usually. About 95% of the time. Some of the banks do not allow them. They can't. And a lot of times, as long as you've called them and offered that to them, and they say, I can't for this deal, this bank doesn't let me do it. Because you offered it and you let them know you do it on other properties that he's allowed or she's allowed to do it on, well, they usually will tell you some insider information. And if they can double in the deal, which is most of the time, they will almost always share some insider information with you. Now, I'm not saying they will, but I'm not saying they won't either. Because, they're going to make about 2 to 3 times what they would make if they didn't double in the deal. So it's in their best interest to give you a little insider information, maybe a little tip. Hey, if you were like $2,000 higher, this would be yours kind of stuff. So that's the stuff you need to watch out for. Very, very important stuff. But the smaller REO agents that do about 15 deals, REO deals or less a year are going to be one of your most consistent. You get like 3 or 4 of those. Oh, man, you'll have deals being handed to you. It's awesome. These are great wholesale opportunities too. So, but also with the larger REO agents, but you want to focus on the staff. The staff is the most important thing here. These are guys doing 25 to like 600 deals a year. I was having no luck with them until all of a sudden I had an epiphany one day. Like, wait, why don't I be nice to the staff? Everybody's rude to these staff because they don't call them back. They don't respond to emails because they're so busy. How about I just be really, really nice to them? And one time I dropped off, or I did this years ago, and now I do it all the time. When I drop off earnest money, I do it with a box of donuts or chocolate. I'm not kidding because I write a handwritten note. I'm big on that stuff. I say, hey, thank you for everything you do. Here's my earnest money, with my business card, thanks. And then a box of donuts, and they will never forget you. And there's lots of reasons to do that. I'm not going to go into them now because I'm already running behind. Here's 3 ways that we make cash offers in the MLS with other people's money. Hard money, people say, oh, I don't want to use hard money. It's too expensive. But yet they don't have any private money to use either. So if there's no other way, use the hard money, and until you can do 2 or 3 deals, put together a private lender credibility packet that shows the deals you've done and the profit you made, paying high money, and go approach private lenders. Private lenders, anybody that has money. Same thing with self-directed IRAs. This is anybody that has an IRA can turn it into a self-directed IRA and lend to you on your stuff. So, the stuff's all negotiable. The hard money rates are like 15 to 20% and 1 to 5 points. And all the points are as a percentage of the profit, or percentage, not profit at all, a percentage of the deal. You borrow, say you get 15% and 5 points on $100,000 and you borrow the money for 1 year because it's simple interest amortized annually. So let's say you borrow I'll do it for a year and then we'll split it in half. So let's say you do it for a year at 15%, that's $15,000 plus 5 points, which is $5,000. So now it's $20,000 that you pay for that money for 1 year. But usually you only need it for about 6 months. So you're going to pay not $15,000. I'm sorry, not $15,000, but you're going to pay $7,500. You pay half that because it's simple interest amortized annually. But you're still going to pay the full $5,000. So it's going to be $12,500 for that money. If that makes sense, because we split the $15,000 in half or 15% in half. But anyway. So these are all the ways that we use to buy deals, and you could use a combination. Like maybe somebody who has like 50 grand and you need, the private money or the hard money wants you to put 10%, 20% down because you're new to using them. Well, maybe you need a deal that's 200. So maybe you borrow 150 from these guys and you put 50 grand private money down with, one of your private lenders in second lien position. This loan will be in first lien position, but now you just put a deal together that you needed the acquisition. Let's say the acquisition was, 130 and you needed 70,000 to complete the rehab. Well, now you just did that deal with 100% of somebody else's money, all borrowed. You can do the same thing with self-directed IRAs and do a combination if you need to. Here we go. So this is how you go from 0 deals in the MLS to getting a consistent stream of profitable deals. You can literally have a deal under contract in the next few weeks and close on it with these strategies. Like we're always writing our offers for 2 weeks. You could put this stuff today if you want, tomorrow, if you want to go and put an offer out, like a wholesale deal. He watched just this exact training. There's a couple other videos, training videos that come along with it. Maybe you've seen them already, or I'm about to send them to you via email. Either way, between this that I just showed you and those videos, that is all he watched, and he brought me a deal and made $4,000. No kidding. Real deal. Mike is the guy. He's awesome. He brings me deals all the time now. I love the guy. He's aggressive as heck. I love it. I love it. So, less than 3% of people actually set out to be real estate investors, actually become real estate investors and succeed. It's because they don't have the proper education, right? They just lack the education. So, look, do you have what it takes? Look, don't waste your time. Time is money. It took me years and years, and I had to be put in really bad situations financially to learn this stuff because I was desperate. I thought I knew what I was doing because I was a real estate agent first. It was helping investors actually, but I help them find them and sell them. That's pretty important. But the middle stuff that I thought, oh, it's easy stuff. Well, I didn't know how to, estimate repairs. I didn't know anything about contractor stuff. So I was wrong. And these strategies only became out of my own desperation. So MLS Domination is how I help people. And it's the latest version of my course. There's hundreds of people in there already. It's awesome. It's a 6-module deep dive on how to dominate the MLS in your market to get a consistent, predictable stream of profitable deals to flip from agents you've never met before and build lifelong relationships with agents who will bring you deals before they hit the market. I mean, Jamish, I show you his testimonial coming up. I have it in a minute, where he says, 2 weeks into the course, in the second week, he already had 2 REO agents bringing him off the market deals before they hit the market. You can go to MLSDominationLive.com to check it out. But here, I'll tell you more about it right here. Here you go. You got module 1 is the basic fundamentals. We go through proper communication, what to say, how to say it, all the dialogues to use, how to gain MLS access. If you're in one of those new towns or new counties that has the MLS that I just showed you, bonus, because now you can get access too. So setting up proper searches. But I've been teaching this course long before I had that accessibility too, by the way. And there's always a way to get MLS access. If there's a will, there's a way. Like I told you, the Jim Rohn quote, if you want it bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse, right? So this is all the stuff that goes into it. I mean, everything that I use from, setting up proper searches to copy the property, the offer follow-up, offer organization. Module 2 goes over communication again, because that is the most important thing. But market research, how to do it, knowing your numbers, deal evaluation, scope of work, how to find the hot spots in your market, how to figure out the after repaired value, how to figure out the maximum allowable offer. I give you my property repair estimate sheets. I go through it with you. I show you how to do it. I show you how to write strong, powerful offers in full detail. I go through the offers with you, how to get a proof of funds if you don't have one. All this stuff is in the course, right? And then next, module 3, finding the right agents. You got field agents, the smaller REO agents, larger REO agents, and how to stay off the REO agent blacklist. Because trust me, that blacklist exists and you do not want to get on it because they do share that stuff. Believe me, I got lots of REO agents that are buddies of mine. Very, very important stuff here. All right, you got module 4 is pulling deals out of thin air. This is my favorite stuff. It is the estate sales. If I could only do one sale forever in the MLS, it would be estate sales. I love them, but they only come up so often, and you have to act fast. Speed is critical on those. But also regular sales and court-ordered sales and short sales, approved short sales, and the reactivated sale gold mine. That's all module 4. Module 5, for all you wholesalers out there, wholesaling the MLS. But as a buyer or seller, and I say as buyer or seller because it's very important. Even if you don't plan to wholesale, I'm not a big wholesaler myself. I mostly buy from wholesalers. But it's important to know how to structure the deal, meaning if a wholesaler brings you an MLS deal, or any deal for that matter, but importantly an MLS deal, and he wrote the contract wrong, wrote the offer wrong, it's very important to know how to do a double closing, or if you can't do a contract assignment, or can you quick claim him off after the closing? How do you do that? Like can you wholesale? I thought you can't wholesale a bank-owned property because the addendum specifically say you cannot assign the contract. That's true. You can't assign the contract. I'm not an attorney, but any contract is assignable unless it specifically says it's not. Okay, so that's my understanding. Again, I'm not an attorney. I'm just a licensed agent in Illinois, but it's my understanding that any contract anywhere is assignable unless it specifically says it's not. So if you're looking to wholesale a bank property, foreclosures, HUD property, court-ordered sales, estate sales, distress sales, or any kind of sale can be wholesaled in the MLS, you can do it. The training, the MLS Domination training, shows you how to get the deals. And then, the wholesaler, you got to have a buyer's list. And a buyer's list, you need 2, 3 people. You don't need 103. You need 3 good buyers. And most of the wholesalers only have a handful of good buyers. But even if you're not planning to wholesale, you watch this because you need to know how to restructure the offer in order to close the deal. There's lots of stuff about how to quick claim the wholesaler off after the actual closing. There's how to close in an LLC or a trust and assign the beneficial rights. There's lots and lots of ways, and that's a lot of how you can do bank owned and foreclosure stuff. So then module 6 is all about money. We got proof of funds. Go over that stuff, how to get one again. You got private money, hard money, self-directed IRAs, the 10 property types to avoid buying at all cost, because you'll talk yourself into this stuff. At this point in the training, you may or may not have a deal yet, and this is the time when you might talk yourself in. So I put it here to make sure you do not talk yourself into any kind of stuff like that. But new for this, we just put it in August. This is awesome stuff. So it's new and it's getting better as we go on, but it's the creative money source. It is the access to every lender you could possibly need for every kind of deal. It is just incredible stuff. I have an hour-long presentation in there with a guy from Capital Connection. It's unreal. I learned so much, but they basically take your profile, and it costs whatever, about $300 to $500 to get into a system. That's it. And then that's a one-time fee, and they have access to every lender in there, and they do an application with you and say, okay, based on what you want, here's 6 lenders that'll work for you, or here's 3 lenders that'll work for you. But we also have lenders that do this for commercial and this for that. It was awesome, just incredible stuff. Very, very powerful. Highly recommend that you check out the Capital Connection stuff. Very, very. But I have interviews in there from national hard money lenders, local hard money lenders. I mean, some national hard money lenders that call themselves private lenders, but their fees are kind of high. But anyway, you maybe not be sure if this is for you, right? I get it. Is it a good fit? Is it not? Learning online, who knows? We had Jeff's deal, right? Jeff's deal where, because I told him about how to follow up, call back, stay in touch, build rapport, 30% on a deal. Boom. You got Jamish, who had 2 REO agents bringing him off the market deals in his first 2 weeks in my course. I mean, really good stuff. Jason, who was an agent who was working with investors, and he didn't even know stuff as an agent. He didn't know this stuff, but he was mostly, the biggest thing for him is how much money he will save on marketing costs, because he said he's done with direct mail after going through the course. Here's another guy. Well, established a great course. Very impressed. The level of detail you get is incredible. You definitely over-delivered. Your experience and knowledge as an active investor really comes through in the training. Greg. Thanks, Greg. I appreciate that. Is something holding you back? Sometimes it's just in your head, right? I love that. I saw that online. I had to grab it. But concerned about the time commitment. I get it. Me too. It's like I'm a master of spreading myself too thin. But this is a study at your own pace course. You can dive in right away because you'll have direct access to it. Plus all the updates. I never charge for any of that stuff. If once I update the course, I send it to you. The course is set up to work in short periods because, I have entrepreneurial ADD like lots of people. I think the longest video in there is like 22 minutes. Most of them are like anywhere from 3 to 10, 12. So it's easy to work for like just 15 minutes at a time, or you can, just keep watching video after video, because I'll show you the course in a second. It's very easy to get through it all. Some people go through and finish it, just 2 to 3 months. Some people, finish it in 6 weeks. Some people have, jobs, families, and they take a year to go through it. But you have access to all the training, all the modules forever. And you might be thinking right now, well, I only got 6 months to ask Jim anything for him. What about if I have questions later? Stay tuned. I got something cool for you about that in a minute. I try to put all the videos in small, bite-sized chunks. And you're worried about studying online, whether you have or have not done it. I get it. But it's easy to navigate. It works with every single browser. We've checked it all. It's a very, very robust system. So the data that we're sending, the videos all open very easily. It's a piece of cake to log into and use. So let's take a look inside. This is the course. Like literally, you open it up here. You got the welcome module, you click it, and then you're in. You're off to the races. I mean, you got this stuff here. It's this, like once you click on this, a video pops up and starts playing. And then you can just go scroll right through every video. There's a couple of, I blurred these out because I never tell you about those. There's surprise bonuses that are in there that's awesome, incredible stuff that I never tell you about. If you join, you get the awesome bonuses. I will tell you about some other bonuses that you get, but those you got to join to find out. And here's the Q&A. And here's the cool thing too, is one of the bonuses you get tonight is I give you access to all the Q&A previously, hundreds of questions from previous students. You get to read all of them to learn. You ever heard the expression, you don't know what you don't know? Anyway. All right, concerned about the cost of the program. I get that, obviously. But let me show you some bonuses before I go through the cost, right? The first thing I'm going to give you is huge. And if you're rehabbing now and you're not using all 6 of these documents, you're putting yourself at a huge unnecessary risk. So I'm going to give you all 6 of these documents just for signing up. I mean, this is a big one. I'm telling you, if you're not rehabbing, you need these, in your arsenal for when you start. But these are so important. I do not let contractors step foot on my house until they have all 6 of these signed. Well, 5 of them, because one of them is a lien waiver, which comes at the very end when the final payment and everything is done. No more workers. Oh, no more. That's it. When the whole job is done, every final punch list item. But the other stuff, you need to have them signed before they step foot on your property, period. Very, very important. I'm going to give you those just for signing up. Now, again, I was telling you, I'm going to give you immediate access to hundreds of my answers to the previous students' real deal questions. I mean, it was hard to put a price on what the value of that is because, I mean, you don't know what you don't know right now. And yeah, the training course is fine. You'll learn stuff there. But reading the questions underneath the videos and in the Ask Jim Anything forum is priceless to me because you're learning from people that, are in deals right now asking real questions. Very, very powerful stuff. You get immediate access to that as soon as you join. This one is huge too. This, again, this is hard to put a value on this. So this is the audio recordings. Now, just for sticking with me, I'm going to give you a link here in a minute to get the download for the transcription. So it's it's an ebook. Literally, it's like 180 pages. But the only way to get the audios for these is in the course. So you'll get to listen to the audios, which is very powerful stuff. And again, the question I ask all 29 of these rock star investors is, if you had to start your real estate investing business over from scratch today without much money, what would you do first? And what marketing strategy would you focus on? In my opinion, this is like one of the most valuable things in here. It's hard to put a value on this. It's the only way to receive these audios. And to sweeten the pot a little, I also ask these high-performing badasses to share their number one productivity habit or tool they use on a daily basis. And oh my God, the answers these guys gave they will change the way you do business forever. I mean, it was such good stuff. I learned more than I ever thought I would. Here's who we got. Just a few of the guys are in there. We got Than Merrill from A&E's Flip This House. You got Doug Clark from Flipman on Spike TV. You got Chief Denny from Flipping San Diego. I got Kent Clothier, Ron LeGrand, Mark Evans, a deal maker, and several other guys in here doing hundreds of deals, 300-400 deals a year. You don't want to miss. Really, really good stuff here. So, all right, here are the facts. Look, I started from scratch. Now I regularly do 8 rehabs at a time. It's by choice. I don't do more. It's a lifestyle choice for me, right? And I built my real estate business. I made life-changing money during one of the worst real estate economies in our lifetime. And, everybody always says to me, what if the market tanks again? I say, good, who cares? It doesn't matter. There's always ways to make money in real estate, especially when the market tanks. There's more money to be made. It's just so many people are skeptical and scared they get out because they're like, they listen to the news. The news, I don't even watch or pay attention to that stuff. If I did, I certainly would have built this business from 2008 till now, because everybody's jumping out of the business. 2010 was one of my best years at that time. And that was a terrible year, in the market. But my one-on-one coaching program is what I actually created this for. Now, I don't do that anymore. It's too time-consuming. But that was $5,000 a month is what those guys were paying. And oftentimes on these calls, I was going through this MLS stuff. I started calling it MLS Domination recently. So I originally put this program together to give to my students, my one-on-one students, so that I didn't have to go through that stuff on the phone. We only did 2 calls a month. I thought we should be going through bigger business building stuff, but they kept asking the MLS over and over again. Crazy to me. So that's why I put it together. But then when I realized how good the course was, I decided to release it to the public. It's just going to be for a limited time because this is more time consuming than I ever expected, but it's so cool. And I'm so proud of it because I poured my heart and soul in this thing. I mean, it's an awesome course. So I'm going to keep going with it for a little while. I don't know when I'm going to take it down, but it will not be up forever. I teach the strategies only the top real estate investors in the country are using. When I was setting up, because the hard thing to do is how do you charge for your course? It's hard to put a value on all the time and effort in my knowledge, right? So you got to put a dollar amount on that when you're selling a course. It's difficult. I talked to my buddies in the business, and most of them said, well, first of all, I said they didn't want me to release the course because they know the stuff that I know. These are other real estate investors, but they said at least $2,500. Another buddy of mine said, well, what's one deal worth to them? They're going to make $20,000 or $30,000 on their next deal. Charge $5,000 for the course, right? Well, I'm not going to charge $5,000 for the course. I'm not going to charge $2,500 for the course. And I'm not going to charge $2,000 for the course. It's available to you today for just 3 payments of $397. One payment due today, $397, 30 days from now, another payment, and then 60 days from now, another payment. Or if you want to pay it all at once, we'll give you, a little discount, $997 today. It's $194 off the total. Be done with it. So there's 3 payments, $397 today. But look, let me go over some guarantees with you because, obviously there's in the market, it's an online deal. You may not know who I am. Maybe you're researching me now, which is great. I hope you do. But here's some guarantees that I offer that are very unprecedented in my industry. Here's a 30%, 100% money back guarantee. If you go through 30 days of the course and you don't like it, it's just not for you, respond to any of the emails we sent you. My support team deals with that because I don't want to even see or deal with refunds because it's not fun for me. And they'll refund no questions asked. It's that easy. If you can't say after 30 days that this is the best deal getting training for the MLS that you have ever seen or heard of, ask for your money back, period. It's that good of a course, and that's why I can offer a guarantee. Because people don't refund the course. People that buy the course that get in, the information's too good and they want access to me. So if you buy by tonight at midnight, you get access to me forever because I will never cut off your access to the Ask Jim Anything forum. All right, but how about you may be thinking, all right, well, that's fine, but you're deciding, do I want to do this? How about a 30-minute guarantee? You might say, what the heck's a 30-minute guarantee? Well, 30-minute guarantee is just this. It is, if you're going to hesitate to buy my course, you might as well do it by looking at the inside of it. I mean, I wouldn't expect you to buy a house without looking at the inside first, right? So if you're going to hesitate to buy my course, you might as well take a look at the inside. Enroll today. If you look at it after 30 minutes and you're like, this sucks, I don't want this, just email back support. We'll refund your payment immediately. Done. No questions asked. I mean, it's that easy, that ironclad. I don't even see the refund request because, again, I don't want to. So you email them to my support team. I just want you to know that, like that, I can't give this kind of guarantee. I want you to feel comfortable. If you're going to spend the money, I got your back. This course is fantastic. I will answer all your questions personally. Nobody on my team will ever do that. I will not allow it. I won't have it. All right, webinar only bonuses by midnight tonight, Pacific time. You got to go to MLS Domination Live. So, hey, look, I've done everything that I can do now. You either fall into one or two categories at this point, right? You hear what I call determined David or timid Timothy, right? And Timothy, this guy's creating excuses for why this won't work. And, I can't, this, that. And, I don't have time. And, as if all the other people, because we have 9 people that have enrolled now, as if all those people have more time than you do, right? Do you think that Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, or Donald Trump have more time in their day than you do? Of course they don't, but they get more stuff done because they time block. And so if you're an excuse maker, definitely not for you, don't sign up. But if you're like determined David, where you're just like, this can work, I want to do this, and you're determined to make it work, something that's worth doing is going to take some of your time and effort. You're willing to grind it out and make some deals happen because there's no such thing as an easy deal. You got to do a lot of work first to learn how to get the deals and learn to understand your market. So if you think this is for you, look, I've done everything I can do. I'm coming to you with my hand extended. I can't do anything else. You got to decide here. Is this for you? Where do you think that timid Timothy will be in 20 or 30 years? How about determined David? Which one do you want to be? Do you want to be timid Timothy in 30 years, always making excuses, being skeptical and never doing anything, working a 9-to-5 job forever? Or do you want to be like determined David and you're going to make stuff happen? Right? Because that's how I got here. Everybody assumes somehow that this was easy for me to get here. I grinded it out every single day to get where I am. And so did every other investor, mind you, that is where you want to be. It was not easy for any of us. Let me go through a couple of my favorite quotes. That one I told you, the Wayne Gretzky one, you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. This has gotten me so far in business, and he's a hockey guy, right? I mean, I'm not even a big sports guy. I mean, I'm in Chicago. The Blackhawks are phenomenal, obviously very good. We've got some good stuff going on with the Cubbies too. That's a lot of fun. But anyway, you'll miss 100% of the shots you don't take. Now he missed more shots than anybody in the NHL. Missed more shots than anybody, but he also made more goals than anybody by like 200 or more. Look up the stats on the guy. There's guys that played 200 more games than he did, and he still has like 200 more goals than them. It's incredible. Check it out. And another one here, right? You're not going to get somewhere you've never been by doing the same things you've always done. Tony Robbins, one of my favorite mentors. I mean, just really good stuff. You're not going to get somewhere you've never been by doing the same things you've always done. You got to step out of your comfort zone if you want change, unless you want to stay the same. If you're cool where you're at, stay there. That's it. That's all I got for you. I'm gonna stick around for questions. Go to MLS Domination Live. We'll blow back through it. It's a 6-module course. The basic fundamentals, market research, finding the right agent, pulling deals out of thin air, wholesaling the MLS, money. You got 6 months of the SGM Anything Forum. Or if you enroll before Friday at midnight, you'll get lifetime access if you enroll by tonight at midnight. But if everybody gets it by Friday at midnight, right? So everybody gets it at Friday at midnight. MLS access for 6 months, and but by tonight you get lifetime. So if you're going to buy it, it's a 30-day money-back guarantee. You might as well buy it by tonight, right? Go to MLS Domination Live. You get the bonuses, 6 critical contractor documents. You better not be rehabbing a house without using all 6 of these documents, period. I'm not saying you have to buy my course. That, if you don't, you got to figure out what these documents are, though, because you need them. You should not be rehabbing without every single one of them. Certainly a lien waiver at very, very, very least, but the other ones are just as important as that. You got immediate access to all my questions. That is the end of my presentation. I'm officially going to end it here. Thank you. There is still a ton of you on. I've been on for a long time, a lot longer than I expected. I always say these things are going to go shorter, and I feel like I'm not. You spent the time to be here. I want to give you as much as I can. So I see a bunch of you that have been thanking me. Well, I want to thank you. I know I go fast. I'm sorry. I wanted to get as much as possible. But look, I truly appreciate you spending me the time with me, and all you have to do is go implement what you've learned. Like, I've given you enough now. You could implement stuff just from this training, plus the videos that I've sent to you. That stuff, I mean, it's gold in there. Just go implement the stuff. Now, I'm here if you want to take it to another level. You want a coach, you want some help. I'm here to help you. That's what MLS Domination is. But I gave you some really good stuff in here. So all you got to do is implement what you learn, and then you rinse and repeat as needed. Pretty easy stuff. So I would not be where I am if I didn't get education. I finally did. I did my first course, my first real estate course. It cost $10,000 at the time. It costs $25,000 now. And I had no money. I put it all on my credit card. I was like freaking out because I'd never put that much money on my credit card before. And it paid off almost immediately. And I mean, look at the wholesaler that Mike, that brought me a deal. He only went through the free training, and he paid him $4,000. Do you know what he did with $1,000 of that? He bought MLS Domination immediately. It's awesome. I mean, such a rewarding thing for me personally. It was just awesome. Somebody that actually took action off my free stuff that I give out, because I like, I believe you should give before you ask. And so, hey, I'm giving you this stuff. Go do it. And if you want some help from me, I'm happy to help you. Go check out MLSDominationLive.com. All right, let's go through some questions here. A ton came in. I got them. All right. It says, do I need MLS access for this to work? And the answer there is no, you do not need MLS access for this to work. I mean, it's helpful. And if you're going to be serious about it, I mean, a lot of people that are in the course now just work with an agent. It's not even an agent team member. The agent just gets a commission, and that's how they work with them, and it works for them. So no, you do not need MLS access. If you're in a market that I didn't show, that, because that's new anyway. That whole the whole training program is brand new to us. So if you're not in one of those markets, it's okay. I've been teaching this all over the country without that, and you have to go approach the right agent to try to to work with them, either as if you get a field agent that buy a deal from them. That's a great opportunity there to then say, hey, could I go in the MLS as an assistant? Because they can restrict your access. All you need to do is run and save searches. So just a matter of an education process with the agent to let them know really what you're looking for. And and what you're actually asking, because I think some of them think that it's not okay. It's just how you pitch it to them. That's all. So access the MLS. I'm searching here to see. How do I trust your program? I get it. This is somebody, they put it before I did the guarantees, but the reason I offer those 3 guarantees like that is because I completely understand your skepticism. You don't know me. You don't know my course. I get it. I mean, I can appreciate it. That's why I offer the guarantees. I do 30 days, money back, period. It doesn't matter. 30 days, you can go through it, download everything, love the course, and just, I'm done. You can do that. I hope you don't, but you can do that. But either way, that's why I offer such an ironclad guarantee, is because I want you to take a leap. If you are where you are, you wanted to make a change for a reason, I want you to take a leap. And so that's why I offer the guarantees the way that I do, because I got your back. I want you to know I've done this myself. I know there's a lot of crappy courses, a lot of shitty courses out there, and mine's not one of them. In fact, somebody I had rebuild on a new platform that builds courses for a living said they could not believe how much content I had in a course for only $1,000. He's trying to get me to break it up and sell it into lots of courses, and it's not interested in that. It is by far, hands down, the best course you will ever find for MLS deals as a real estate investor. And it's even got more stuff in there than I can. It's a very, very, I'm very proud of this course. So, all right. When is my next deal? How quickly can I get a deal with MLS Domination? Well, like I said, I had one student that had a deal that he made $4,000 before he was even one of my students officially. He was only a free training student at that time. So we close on deals regularly. And like those 3 deals that I got in 9 days, the longest we closed on one of those was, I think, 21 days. They were all like 14, 18 days, somewhere in there. So we close on deals very quickly. So you can start implementing the reactivated sales stuff, and you can close in 2 to 3 weeks from today, tomorrow or whatever. You start, if your kids go to bed tonight, if you want to, if you're going to start looking at stuff, then you can start putting in offers tomorrow, closing a deal in 2 weeks. I mean, it's absolutely possible. Let's see, can you use this for buy and hold property? Absolutely. This is how to get properties. This isn't really what a lot of MLS Domination is an acquisition strategy, and it's just to teach people how to communicate properly. But you can use it. People do buy, renovate, and hold with this. People do commercial properties with this. Anything that that is in the MLS. This is just teaches you how to acquire. Now, I built a course in a way that it's for rehabbers and wholesalers, because obviously that's who's going to be buying my course primarily. But this stuff, I mean, it's just good stuff. So anybody could use this. For any kind of properties you want to do, you're buying rental properties. I mean, yeah, of course it can work for that. How do I estimate repairs when you present your initial offer? Well, that's something. It's an education process. I had no clue how to do that when I got started. I was very, very green in this regard, and this is part of how I lost money on my first deal because I didn't get educated. I didn't, what I should have done is hire a contractor to pay him $200 or so to go through a square foot list, an estimation, like for, hardwood floors, brand new, or, refinishing hardwood floors, electric, plumbing, bathroom, countertops, cabinet, like rough costs on everything, siding, windows, so that I could use that to kind of gauge price. Now, I learned kind of by trial by fire, but I would recommend, if you're not a contractor like I wasn't, and I'm not, I mean, I know a lot more now than I did. So I'm pretty good, but hire a contractor or two to take you through a property that, even if it's a property you do not plan to buy, hire a contractor to take you through the property so that they can give you their repair estimate, but to show you the square footage breakdown, so you get how you can start estimating these repairs. You want me to have a beer? That's funny. Years ago, that would be true. I no longer drink. I know, because people always tell me, because I talk so fast. I've always been wired this way, and but I do not drink anymore. I quit drinking. I have twins, and anybody who has kids or twins, but right before they were born, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna quit drinking for 3 months just to take time off. I mean, I partied, good amount, but I was like, I'll just take 3 months off. And you know what? I never went back. It was like at the end of the 3 months, I was kind of like, I like this much better. And now since then, I've lost 50 pounds and I'm in pretty good shape, and I like life a lot better without alcohol. But I was, I drank enough in my 20s for a lifetime is the way I look at that. So, but anyway, thank you. Why don't you have a beer, Mike? Steve. Sorry, Steve. You have a beer for me. Actually, have two. Let's see. Hard money. They want skin in the game. Yeah. Hard money loans. They usually want, depending on your experience level, they want 20% down, 10%. I mean, I get approached all the time now because I don't use hard money, but they want me to. So I have a couple guys that will approach me, and they'll pay acquisition, 95% of acquisition and rehab costs, but they want me to have 5% down. So once you get, more experience, you can get hard money for a lot less. But, as you start building up private money, which private money is anybody that has money, right? Anybody, any family members, right? Parents, aunts, uncles, brothers, sisters, your kids' friends' parents. I mean, your boss, especially if they're doctors or lawyers. I mean, anybody that has money can be a private lender. So there's people who don't lend money for a living. That's the best part. Mohammed, do I need? to have an agent to access the MLS? No, you don't. That's what you can be an assistant to the MLS, an assistant to a licensed agent. So I kind of went over that. But you can become an assistant to an agent. You do not have to be licensed. Let's see here. Do RIAs have access to the MLS database in the USA? Well, Martin, are you not in the USA, first of all? Which, anywhere that there's an MLS type system, this will work anyway. That's why we have people in Canada, somebody out from Ireland. So that is awesome. But no, I don't think the RIAs will not have access unless there's an agent that will show you. But no, you need an agent to have direct access to the MLS. Do you give actual... Oh, yeah. Do I give actual names? Yes. Of the lenders in the course? Yeah. Yes, I do. The national hard money / private lenders. But the one you want, you'll get a discount with the Capital Connection through the link I provide in the course. But Capital Connection is really, that's going to be your best bet right now, because they just have, that's all they do is they connect investors with lenders. That's it. And they connect you with, 3-5 of the lenders that are best for your business and what you want to do. So, all right, let's see here. So, all right, scrolling through some questions. I already answered some of these. So, I have a huge problem finding deals in my market, very competitive. Yeah, but that's what sets you aside. This is somebody, Leonardo, who is a licensed agent, and he uses the MLS or tries, and he says he does not have a lot of success. Well, I can guarantee you're not calling the agent and having not a long conversation first, but I call his agents, and the property doesn't even matter when I make that call before we make the offer. It's after I see the property, before I make the offer, I call, and the property doesn't even matter. Now, the property is what I'm going to use for a topic of conversation, but if I can take that conversation elsewhere, like about them personally, if they bring up something about their husband, their daughter, their son, they're going to a basketball game, football, whatever, I'm like, oh, your son play football? What position? Is he any good? And if they keep talking, let them talk, because they're going to hang up with you and know you called about 123 Main Street. But then you ask them all kinds of questions. Don't offer anything. Just ask questions. It's all about them. It's all about them. This is rapport building 101, guys. And they're going to hang up the phone with you, and they're going to be like, I love that guy, Jim. I don't even know why. Well, it's because you were talking about them. People like to talk about them. Here's the thing. Atlanta inventory very low. I know. It's very low here. It's low all over the country, Big Ed. But it doesn't matter. That doesn't matter. If you look in the MLS right now, look in the last 30 days, is there any properties that you would have paid that dollar amount for in your market? I guarantee there will be. Somebody got those deals. It could have been you if you were working the MLS right, period. The Google spreadsheet, it's called Sheets, by the way. It's in Google Docs or Google Drive. It's Google Drive. It's totally free. We use Google for everything, by the way. I highly recommend using Google. And it's just called Sheets. And then you put the stuff that I told you about in there, and that'll be the end of that. Let's see. It says, I don't know how to write offers. Will this help me? Well, of course, because I show you exactly what to do and what to say. Now, I still, depending on where you're at, you'll still need to make sure you understand your exact contract, but I will show you how to write the offers and how to present the offers so you look like you know what you're talking about. And eventually you will, because it'll take some time. But yeah, I literally walk you through all the dialogues to say everything you need to do and say, I walk you through. So first deal with MLS Domination, let's just say 30 days for sure. Because you could drop me in any MLS anywhere in the country right now and give me a day and I'll be able to pull a property out. We get under contract for a price that we can make, 15% in the back end after only owning it for 6 months. So I'd say 30 days without question. So I am a nobody. How will I meet these smaller REO agents? Well, if you're still with me, I'm going to give you a great little nugget here because we've been on for, holy cow, 2 hours. So I'm going to give you a great nugget for being with me. This is how I met REO agents when I was a nobody. And just because I do deals in my market and I'm better known now, I still have to introduce myself to REO agents. Everybody doesn't know me. So I'm still like the new people, or I see a deal of an agent I haven't met, which happens to me. I still go through the same stuff. So write this down. this is the showing strategy, right? Now you need to be licensed or have a licensed agent working with you for this to work. But here's what you do: you go see 3 or 4 of this REO agents' active properties that are overpriced or whatever because they're just not selling, and go there and take really copious notes. I mean, just really, really solid notes. And then when you get to them, when they email the agent or, you for feedback, you give really good feedback. Like, look, I think this thing, I love it. I want to make an offer, but you're listed at 180. I can only pay 120. Here's why. I think it's only worth 280. I got to put 60,000 into it. It needs this, 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 and this. There might be a structural item here in the basement. Basement has water. And what you're doing is, now, are you trying to buy the property? I mean, sure, but that's not the goal here. The goal here is you want to make a friend with that REO agent. So you do this to them 3 or 4 times in a week, and then call them the next week, him or her, and say, hey, I saw a couple of your properties last week. I gave you some feedback. Hopefully you saw that. Is there anything, obviously you're an REO agent in the market I buy in. Is there any way we can go out to lunch or coffee? Can I buy a cup of coffee or take you out to lunch? Just because, I always let the REO agents double end deals. And anyway, I've never had anybody say no to that. And that's how I met a lot of these REO agents. I didn't even have, because if, a lot of these national gurus, and I don't consider myself a guru at all, they'll tell you, like, send these guys letters, well, if you don't have a property that you want to buy of theirs right then, they don't care. They'll throw that letter in the trash. Ask me how I know, because I did it. So I figured out this strategy. Now, it's funny, a couple of my buddies, that is how I actually met them originally. They're now, they're still REO agents. They're my buddies, but I met them through that strategy. So you schedule a few showings, go give them really good feedback. And what they do with the feedback is they're able to take it to the asset manager and potentially get a price reduction. And because you gave them solid feedback, that they could say, hey, look, this is from somebody else. Look at, here it is. And so maybe it gets a reduction where you could buy it. But either way, they're going to love you because you just gave them 3 or 4 pieces of feedback that allow them to go back to their asset manager from the bank and potentially get price reductions for that stuff. So really, really powerful stuff. Wholesaling the MLS. How could I do that? I thought it is not possible. It absolutely is possible, and you absolutely can do it on any single deal. You can do it on REOs, you can do it on HUDs, you can do it any property you can get under contract in the MLS. You could also wholesale. But the structure of the offer and how you close on it is the hard part, right? And so that's what you got to know. From double closings to quick claim deeds to assigning beneficial rights of trust or LLCs. There's a few different ways to do it, but you got to know your stuff. And I'll show you how to do it in the course. Let's see here. Yeah. Love it. Signed up. Thank you. I see you in the course, Jeff. Thank you. All right. Tom asked why I'm so awesome. Tom, I don't know if you're being sarcastic or not, but thank you if you're being serious. Let's see. MLS Access. I am a realtor that that you want to give access to other people as this. Fantastic there, Michael. Did you sign up for the course? I'll email you after this here, Mike. But if you sign up for the course, you'll get an email from me, jim@jimhunsker.com. That is my email. Other people do check that one, but I will get it. And just put MLS Access from webinar in all caps in the subject line. And I will... I'll reach out to you and we'll figure out if your market, because obviously it wasn't on the list. So fantastic. How much is the course? Again, the course is $397 today, and then 2 more payments of $397. So it's or you can do $997 total, but it's 3 payments of $397. You can get in and just check it out for $397 today, which I highly recommend you do. Your questions are still coming in. We've been on here for over 2 hours. This is awesome from James. Totally over-delivered. I just ordered. Can't wait. Fantastic, James. I will see you inside the course, man. Can't wait to start answering your questions. You could literally log in right now, enroll, and start asking me questions immediately. And I'm the only one that answers them, by the way. So I know this works. Land trust. Oh, right. You can do land trust in Massachusetts. Land trust. I understand. Yep, that's part of the strategy. Not a Massachusetts land, just land trust. I mean, Massachusetts is a very protected state to do land trust in, but you can just do land trust in your own state for some of the strategies I'm talking about. Buyers and lenders don't want LLCs or. All right, Victor. Buyers and their lenders. Buyers and their lenders don't want to buy LLCs or trust. Yes or no? I'm not sure I totally understand that one, Victor. Maybe you'd re-ask the question, but if you're talking about like the strategy of buying the beneficial rights of the trust or LLC for the wholesale deal, well, if they don't want to, they're just not experienced enough. And again, it's just an education process. If they don't know, then you just have to educate them. And if they still don't want to do it, no problem. But that assigning the beneficial rights of the trust or LLC, if that is what you're talking about, is an advanced strategy, both for the wholesaler and for the buyer. So you really need to know your stuff on both sides. Let's see. Thank you. All right, Peter. Thank you. Jim, let's see. Here's from John. John, do you think new investors should start wholesaling? Absolutely, yes. When I started out, I wanted to be a rehabber, which is what a lot of people do. And I didn't have education when I started, and I was already into the rehabbing side of things. I wish I would have started wholesaling. I don't think I ever would have lost money on my first deal. Actually, I know I wouldn't have, because you do a wholesaling deal right, you're very protected there. So great presentation. Let's see, it's from Jared. Thanks, Jim. Go Cubs. That's awesome. See, people just don't. They see my. At the beginning, I got my Cubs thing on there. Because I took my kids during the season. I took my kids to Wrigley for the first time, which they loved. Except good thing that the seats were given to me from a good buddy mortgage broker of mine, because we stayed through 3 innings. But anyway. All right, let's go. We still got questions coming in here. Like I said, I will be here until your questions are done. So let me scroll through this other one here. All right, I am not organized, Julie. I'm not organized, like you said you weren't. And do you provide all the documentation? Yeah, yes. So the spreadsheet, I literally give you the exact spreadsheet. You can just you download it, or you can just recreate. It's super easy to. So it's in there for you to take. Everything I use for my rehab business, everything is in there. And every time I get a new document or I update one of mine, I upload it in there, and I let you know. I send emails out to everybody saying, hey, this doc just changed. Check it out. Everything in there is obviously up to date now, but I give you everything. Every single tool I've ever used is in there. I mean, so you got here, Bill. Bill says, can I use my own IRA? There's videos in here, like 6 of them, that just cover self-directed IRAs. And there is ways to use your own IRA, but it's quite complicated. It's much easier to use somebody else's IRA than it is your own. I believe you can use your own, but you can't even, if you own a rehab in your own self-directed IRA, you cannot improve the property in any way, shape, or form. Like even bringing one light bulb to drop it off the property, you can't do that. The contractor has to bring it, because you're improving the property and not costing it any money. So there's really specific rules on it. I'm not an expert, but let's see. But yeah, you can do it. It's complicated, but the rules change all the time. The stuff in here, the videos are from Dennis Blitz. You guys, anybody who's still with me now, Dennis Blitz from the IRA Club. It's great stuff. And so that's what the videos are. So sorry you talk too fast. I know. I told you. See, I know I talk fast. I'm sorry. I try to get in as much content. If I didn't want to deliver so much good content, I wouldn't have to talk so fast. But I want to make sure. I was trying to cut stuff out, and I'm like, I can't. I want to provide. I don't want to be one of those webinar guys that provides nothing and asks you for money. I want to give you good stuff, and if you decide you like it, come work with me. I'd love to help you. But anyway, so you cannot. Let's see. You cannot double end deals in California. Yet, Ralph, you can. You can. The rule there, everybody says that you can't. I'm very familiar. I have lots of buddies that flip there and do use dual agency all the time, right, on a regular basis. But the most people think you can't because of how the rule's written. It's a disclosure issue. It has to be disclosed properly upfront in writing on a document. Buyer, seller, agent, broker, everybody has to sign it. But you can do dual agency in California. I just checked recently because I was being called on that, saying that you couldn't. And so I had to double check again, and you absolutely can. So I know you're saying you can't, Ralph, but you can. You can. So let's see here. Got more questions coming in. Jennifer, isn't it the follow-up on so many offers a lot of work? I don't know. I mean, I guess it's relative to what a lot of work means to you. I mean, I'm willing to do whatever it takes to make money and make lots of money. And my motivation is not money. In fact, far from it anymore. Now that I have kids, it's time. I realize how important time is. But anything worth doing, it's going to take some of your time. It's going to take. There's no question about it. So, is it a lot of work? I mean, I don't know. I don't think so. But I mean, I guess you might look at it that way. And if you think it's a lot of work, this is probably not for you. I mean, anything new and worth doing is going to be work. It's just the way it is. So, if you think it's too much work, well, I would probably not sign up, because this is, being a real estate investor, we get to cash big checks. But guess what? It's hard. That's why we are able to cash big checks. If it was easy, everybody would do it, and we wouldn't have big checks to cash as real estate investors. So anyway, let's see here. Questions are seeming to die down a bit. A lot of the same ones I see. So I answered you. I know I got that. Got it. How do I meet the larger REO agents and stand out to them when I have to upload the offers? Very good question. Very good question here. Liam, hey man, that's my son's name. Cool, I love it. Well, Liam, I will tell you that that is part about building rapport with the team members, and why I drop off donuts with a handwritten note, because you need to stick out to them, because they have so many people that are rude to them every single day. That's normal, completely normal stuff for them. People are constantly rude to them. Because they don't reply to their email or phone call, or they put an offer in a week ago and they haven't heard anything back yet. Well, that's because the bank hasn't responded to them. But I had a deal where it was an upload. This is how I knew my stuff paid off. It was a Fannie Mae deal or whatever. We had to upload everything to a system. So the agent didn't even see it, but the agent still they were able to double on this deal, I believe, and. But anyway, this was not a double-end deal, because it was a larger REO agent. I was trying to remember that deal, and so on larger REO agents, they don't care about double-ending the deals, because they do 500. There's guys in my market do 500-600 deals a year. They could care less about double-ending the deal. It's just not important to them. It's just more trouble than it's worth. But anyway, so property listed at $199, and highest and best, multiple offers. I offer $210. They call and say, "Is this your highest?" Yep. I can't pay a penny more. I'm actually stretching a little bit. Well, it turned out there's 3 offers, all for $210, and all cash, all closed quickly. One guy though was known to back out. They knew him, like, he screwed around on inspections. He always asked for credits. So he was like basically on their blacklist, and they told the asset manager, like, "Yeah, no, that guy, that offer's no good." The other guy they didn't know, so that was an option, but they just didn't know him. But me, they did know. I have closed on deals before, and I bring donuts when I drop off earnest money. But more importantly, the donuts are not because they want the donuts. Maybe it is, but for them to remember me as, when they think of who's somebody that closes on deals. Hey, that guy Jim, and he also brings donuts. So even if you haven't done a deal with him yet, during the correspondence, just be over nice to the staff, because you're going to want to be rude to them at times, as everybody always does. And when they expect you to be rude and you're not, you really stick out to them. So that was a great question. I'm just sifting through. You're making sure I didn't miss any, because there's no more coming in now. And we've been on for some time. So, looks like that is about it. No more questions. Anybody want? You can still type them in, but there's still a bunch of you on here. I can see you on here. Maybe you're too busy buying the course or enrolling. I hope you are. That would be fantastic and make me very happy. And I will see you in there. And I'm in all the videos. I'm the only teacher. I'm the only one. As this thing grew, I had customer service people that are experienced customer service recommend that, I outsource the questions. I refuse to do that, and I never will. I am not a guru. That is not why I did this. I didn't do this to figure out how to scale it and build it as big as possible. I like helping people. It's fun to me. It's rewarding to me too. So maybe it's a little selfish, but I absolutely refuse to not answer all the questions in the Ask Jim Anything forum myself. Every question, every answer in there is from me, and it always will be. So, hey, this has been long. There's still a ton of you on here listening, so thank you. Maybe you're all not listening anymore. Maybe it's on mute and you're back to Tinder. I don't know what you do. I hope you're laughing if you're listening. But anyway, I truly thank you for spending the time with me. I've really poured my heart and soul into this course, and it shows inside. You can see in the comments if you've gotten the videos from me. Look at all the comments under the videos. I mean, it's unbelievable. Just from the free stuff alone. So come check out my course. Let me help you. If this is something you want to do, let me help you do it. I help people through MLS Domination. It's the only way I coach and train anymore. And at my live event, I'll go through some of this stuff too, obviously. So thank you. I truly appreciate your time. And I will see you on the inside of the course. And remember, if you want something bad enough, you'll find a way. If you don't, you'll find an excuse. Bye for now.